drink. All right,
I think we need to toast your new house, Michele.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to toast selling the house. I don't have a new one. I don't have any place to live.
Well, everybody, let's toast to Michelle's gone house.
Road trip.
Clink.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Tripp Smokepit. Today, we have our returning guests, Damien Larkin and Michele Packard, and Tam DeRudder Jackskson, who is new to the show. So she's going to get good and lost and wonder why she agreed to come on here in the first place. It'll be a
Trip, I know.
Yeah, cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. And I think because I haven't been on the show now for the last, it must be about 3 or 4 months now at this stage, we have to do the Smokepit recap. So Smokepit recap, you have to give us a little bit of an insight into how you're getting on with the books. Obviously, no spoilers, but can you give us any kind of updates, any clues as to what's happening next in the series?
Yeah, so let's say I'm going to drop books 7, 8, 9 all about the same time, about a month apart each, riding that algorithm. I got 7 and 8 done, like literary wise. They just need, like a good line editor to go over it. And then book 9, I finished and then reread and then hated the ending. Didn't hate the whole thing, just hated the ending. So I'm rewriting half of it. And then, I'll send it off to an editor. And then in the meantime, I'll work up the art and then also work up the soundtrack because, I'm nice like that. And then
Tripp and Tam are overachievers with their multiple books coming out at the same time. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I haven't had any of your stuff yet, but I have Talisman, which is I bumped up to number 2 on my to read list because I had another author on about 2 months ago who sent me a book and was like, all right, I'll read this next. And then I've only been reading school books since then. So
right.
Oh, that's a bummer though. I mean, do you have summer? Are you done?
Yeah, no, I'm off for the summer. I don't know if I'm going back to that school though, but I'm trying to find a full-time job and just go to school online because most of it's online anyway for COVID, and Penn State doesn't look like they're going to let up for the next at least year. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, way better to get a job and do the online thing for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, actually, anyway, I'm taking it that it's a romance novel, but. Can you tell us a little bit about your work because I'm oblivious to it?
It's Talisman. The whole Talisman series is paranormal romance,
Ooh.
But it's based in Celtic mythology, and the Celtic war goddesses are the villains, and I have a lot of male followers that love these books because I can write a battle scene. Just saying.
All right, well, it's my interest.
I mean, I open up with a battle scene. The very first book opens with a big battle scene. So there you go.
Nice.
Good.
Awesome.
And then you get a little extra something with the sex.
I've been taking notes for my sex scenes.
Hey, Michele.
I don't have any, but
it's still good.
If I put one in, now I know what to do.
Michele, book covers with shirtless men are shown.
But
those are all mine.
Yep.
Michele has to drink. Uh-oh.
You know what, Tripp?
You're welcome.
We're on. We're on.
It's on.
Don't worry, I got a few. Most of them are actually everyone drinks, but I got 1 or 2 for.
Just for Michele.
Hey, hold on. I got to text some people right now and tell them what they need to do.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, Damien, friggin', was it Blood Red Sand comes out next month?
6th of July. So I'm really excited about it because next book in the series, and look, I'm saying to everyone here in the chat before this, but this is Blood Red Sand, and just to add to the fact that we have 4 people on the extra special edition of Smokepit Fairy Tales, I'm offering to send the free copy of Blood Red Sand out to an active or retired member of the U.S. military. So it's only open to the to people in the U.S. military. The one condition is we want to hear your jokes, and I think that really stems from the fact that when I kind of picked up Tripp's books, one of the things that kind of, I suppose, jumped out of me was the barracks room humor. I'd spent 7 years in the Reserve Defence Forces, and within about 2 or 3 pages, I could just imagine, say, me hanging out with the lads and kind of cracking jokes like that. So kind of got me interested in what would there be different jokes between the different branches over there? Would you have Marines kind of slagging the Navy slagging the Army, Air Force slagging Coast Guard or whatever? Anyone can think of a great joke, post it up here, and and Space Force. Is there any jokes about Space Force?
And now they're all in space.
So yeah, best joke gets a free copy. We'll post it out to you, and that's courtesy of my publisher, Damson Lemur Press in North Carolina. So yeah, fire away with those jokes in the comments there, folks.
How did you get a North Carolina publisher being in Ireland?
Twitter
Oh.
pitch. Yeah,
Oh.
it was
really
Twitter pitch event.
Hold on. Let me take notes.
Yeah, I do talks about this over here in Ireland at the different cons. Yeah, it was a Twitter pitch event by a group called the Insecure Writer Support Group. So it's kind of like they're a bit smaller now compared to some of the bigger ones like Pit Mad and all those ones. But it's basically it's name, as it says like in the name, you basically tweet about your book, and if an agent or a publisher kind of likes the actual tweet, that's their way of kind of inviting you to submission. So I sent one out a bit big red. I ended up getting 3 likes. The one was Avanti Press, so obviously got rid of them, didn't even look at them.
What was the tweet?
It was something about like I can't even remember what it was word for word, but it was kind of making a joke about it. It was like Irish soldier ends up on Mars, does a tour of duty with the Mars occupation force. The only bad thing about it is the pesky natives, or something like that. It was some sort of tongue-in-cheek reference. But it got me in the door with 2 kind of publishers, and in the end, I kind of went with Damson Lemur Press. Like they were from day one, they loved it. Like really kind of guided me, helped me, and you know, I mean, look at it now. I've got a second book coming out with them, and hopefully many more to come in the series. So yeah, tweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, do get involved in those. If anyone's looking for a publisher or an agent, I always recommend them. And I do kind of unofficial kind of coaching sessions with other writers who are taking part. So if anyone is interested, just drop me a message at any stage. I'll show you how to polish it off. You know.
Sorry, I gotta go.
Michelle's going to Twitter right now. Hey guys.
Yeah, fire away. I think there's another one coming up now. I think it's Pit Mad is the 6th of June. So that's about like 2 weeks away. So yeah, a good opportunity, you know.
But didn't you also get like some type of movie deal or something?
No, that was some group called the Right Center, and it was the same thing with Big Red. They messaged me out of the blue, just looking to know what the status of the rights are. So I mean, my theory is it's some sort of like US based database or something that publishers and kind of agents will, like, you know, if they're looking for information about kind of books or whatever, to maybe consider buying the rights, they go to this organization. But that's it. I just think it's really cool because like it happened for about books. It was the same organization, and I'm just a random dude from Dublin. So even if nothing ever comes from it, it's just nice waking up and seeing his message. You know, who owns the rights to it? Well, I do, but you'll have to talk to my publisher. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But look, never know. I suppose just have to keep at it.
Fair enough. Hey, Michelle. Speaking of that, what's up next for Maddie Baker?
Oh, listen, Maddie kills a lot of people in this next book.
Oh, you didn't do that before.
I know. I took out a whole plane.
You're massive.
But it's, you know, because it's always about, you know, real life events. So it's about a pandemic, about a virus, the president's dead, maybe.
Theo goes.
Yeah. And, you know, of course, you know, Maddie's going to come in to save the day. And she's basically against, you know, every U.S. agency. So hopefully nobody's watching right now, you know, CIA, you know, NSA, TSA.
Well, you know, maybe something happens and you do end up on the wrong side of the wall. And then like afterwards, when you come out of hiding in 10 years, you can be like, all right, so this one's nonfiction, but it's just good.
There's always a little truth in all my books. So
awesome. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And what was the inspiration for the character, Michelle? Like, how did you develop kind of Maddie Baker, or how did the series come to you, or what's the backstory behind it?
You know, my kids just always said that I was full of shit, and I was Aesop fable teller. But
Right.
you know, every time I told a story, it just kept growing and growing, and so that's really how the first book started. It was just, it's a little bit about me, a little bit, very little. I look really good in the book, and you know, I just started looking at whatever world events were happening and kind of incorporating it in, and it became like a jigsaw puzzle. How am I going to end this book? So
yeah.
If I saw something on 60 Minutes, I thought, oh, that's a good way to end it. So,
That was cool, yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Excellent.
It was fun. It was fun.
And what about you, Tom? What's the background for your books? How did you kind of start writing, or what, like, you know, what was the inspiration behind it all?
No, he's talking to you, Tam, not me.
Yeah.
you got to listen to the accent.
Oh, is it the accent thing? I can get subtitles.
Excuse me.
A couple more drinks and I'll be able to understand a word you said.
There's a little glitch in the sound. There's a little glitch in the sound, and I missed it.
No
You
worries.
know, I was a I'm a recovering high school English teacher.
Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry.
And so, and
Don't
but
read
I've
my
always
books
been
then.
I've always been fascinated with Great Britain and Ireland and Scotland, and I've been over there quite a few times. I've been to Dublin a couple of times.
Nice.
I like
Great
your city.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
and I like that Guinness place.
Or
a
the
lot.
Guinness storehouse, yeah.
Ooh,
Lovely points
we
there.
gotta add
Lovely.
Guinness to the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
sponsor.
Anyway, so yeah, I taught British Lit, and British Lit also included all of it. Like Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England. I tried to hit authors from everywhere, and I just got interested in the Celts and interested in the King Arthur legends, and so it just kind of blossomed up from there. And those, I'll tell you what, those goddesses in the Celtic pantheon, they're badass, and they're big fun to write about, and they're fun to research. And so, in fact, I was just before I got on, I was writing a battle scene for the next book in the series, because it'll be coming out in March. And
Nice.
I've got Skaha and the Morrigan and Danu, and they're all in a big old fight, and Concobar's in there, and Cuchulainn, and I got the whole
Cuchulainn.
party.
People you talk about every day.
Concubines? I'm interested. Okay, not concubines. Got it. I'll,
What about your other series with the rock band series?
I go to rock concerts all the time. I love going to rock shows, and I just I was listening to some Shinedown one day, and this idea came into my head, and I started writing the book, and I was trying to see if I could do nano, just to see if I could do it. And the first book in the series came out of that. I mean, I wrote the 50,000. I think I wrote close on 60,000 words in a month.
Well done.
Doing nano, and never again, because that was insane. But once I finished writing it, then I just pass it on. I have some really great critique partners. A couple of gals down in Henderson, Nevada, and one out in Goshen, New York, and a crew that I meet with here in Wyoming. And so I just ran it past them and said, "What do you think?" And they went, "Oh, you should write this. You should do this." So
That's
and
great.
then I let my husband read it, which was a hoot, because he doesn't read any of my manuscripts early. Like, he'll read my books when they come out, but he doesn't read the manuscripts. He says it's like reading a manual. So
help me out.
yeah. So he read this one, and he goes, "Damn, you got right in the head of a 20-something guy." And I went, "Well, I might know a few, since we have a couple." And then he goes, "And that was pretty damn hot sex." And I went, "You're welcome."
That is brilliant.
There you go.
So yeah, you mentioned Shinedown. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with them. Like, right now, I hate them. I loved them when they first came out, but when I was in boot camp, I got called to go to dental. And I go to dental, I sit down in the chair, and the dentist guy is like, "Hey, so what are you doing here today?" I'm like, I don't know. They told me to come here. That's why I'm here. I'm in boot camp, dude. I don't make decisions on my own." They're like, "Oh, okay, all right, let's we're taking your wisdom teeth out." I'm like, "Which ones?" He's like, "All 4 of them." I was like, "Great."
Oh, shit.
And I was awake the whole time, and Shinedown was playing the whole time. I was like, "No, I like this song."
That's just cruel.
Yep.
They're gonna play Sturgis, and I'm not gonna be there. I'm really bummed out about that. I've got family that are going, and I'm not gonna be there. I'm sad, but I've seen them several times. Yeah, they're my favorite.
Okay, let's figure this out. What was your first concert you ever went to?
Oh wow. Well, this will date the shit out of me. Cheap Trick.
Oh, Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick. I think I was like 16. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Damien?
Oh, Slayer.
Oh,
yes.
awesome.
Yeah, I've seen him like 6 times. But yeah, that was my first gig.
Nice.
It was Tattoo the Planet. and that was originally scheduled to take place over here in Dublin on September the 11th, 2001. So we only found out, like, obviously, with everything that happened, that some of the big bands kind of pulled out. So the likes of Pantera and there was a few others kind of pulled out, with Slayer just said they wanted to kind of keep going on, just didn't want to let the day kind of phase them or whatever. So they just kind of ended up playing. It was a pretty good gig, you know. But yeah, like, it was just from my first ever kind of gig, seeing Slayer live and just getting the absolute snot kicked out of me in the mosh pit. Like, it was brilliant.
Everything has been a letdown since then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What was your last concert then?
I think it was Slayer. I think it was Slayer again a couple of years ago. Because I missed them the last time they were playing over here. But yeah, it would have been. I've seen them like 6 times in total. I've travelled over to Wales to see them, and I've seen them a few times over here in Ireland. Just absolutely love them. I suppose the one thing will always give me, I never got to see Pantera live, you know, because I think they broke up something like 8 or 9 months after that tour, and then obviously everything happened with Dimebag and stuff, you know. Yeah. So yeah, bit of a sickener, but yeah, Slayer rules.
What about you, Michelle?
Well, we're going to go to Red Rocks this summer. Next concert is going to be Chicago. First concert was Foreigner.
Oh,
Wait,
oh, I'm so jealous.
Hero.
Got stars in his eyes.
I'm so jealous. We wanted to go to that show so bad.
Oh,
And they were playing in really close, 100 miles from where I live, where we go for all of our concerts. And I was a cheerleader. And all the cheerleaders wanted to bail on the boys on the basketball team and go watch Foreigner, and they threw a fit, and our coach wouldn't let us go. She said yes.
No way.
And it was an out-of-town game. I mean, we weren't even going to have a crowd. Oh, I'm so jealous. Never seen him either. Never seen him. I bet it was awesome.
I think when you meant you bailed on the basketball players, you meant the game, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
So what you're saying is you wanted to chuck it in the fuck it bucket, but the fuck it bucket was removed, and you had nowhere with which to chuck it.
How about you, Tripp? What was your first show?
So first, I guess, real show would have been I saw Journey and Def Leppard, like in an arena. First show that I count, though, was I saw the Arctic Monkeys in a bar basement in Norfolk.
Really?
Oh, that's pretty random.
Yeah, like my uncle was like, "Hey, let's go to this show." I'm like, "All right, cool." And like, you know, I am a hairier person, so when I was 17, they're like, "You're 21, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got that band, don't I?" I'm like, all right, well, there you go. And then, that bar was. I'm sorry. Yeah, that bar where they were playing at was smaller than like Subway.
Hey, listen, if they're in the basement, I'm thinking they probably don't need a like ID or anything. You just
they're happy to have you.
Yeah.
And they tend to be some of the better gigs when you're in a really kind of small confined place anyway, you know, more atmosphere. So I'd say it was a good experience.
We got Bruce Watson's guitar pick. Hey.
Oh, nice.
Hey, all right, Pickle.
That's just showing off there, Pickle Bro.
Yeah. No, and then my last one. What is it? Saw who was it? It was Slash and Aerosmith, and I went to go see Slash because I didn't really give a shit about Aerosmith. And Slash came on first. I'm like, all right, cool. And this is when he was touring with Miles Kennedy. And then, like, you know, 10 minutes into the show, like me and my buddy, we were both big Guns N' Roses fans. We're like, dude, this guy rocks. Fuck Axl Rose, you know? And then, like, we were getting ready to leave, and, like, Aerosmith came on, and we're like, yeah, fuck Aerosmith. And they got in their first song. I'm like, wait a minute. They sound a lot better live than they do on their albums.
Yeah.
Okay,
have you seen the lineup for Bottle Rock? Let me pull this up. All right, do you know what Bottle Rock is?
No.
So it's in Napa. They bring in these like 50 bands. So the headliners are Guns N' Roses, Stevie Nicks, Foo Fighters, Miley Cyrus, Stallion, G-Eazy, whoever that is. I'm not a music. Anyways, there's 50 bands. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a party in the USA.
It's 3 days. You go to the wineries during the day. You go to the concerts at night. You don't remember the concerts at night, and it's a lot of fun.
Sign up a good concert. That's
Are you going?
You know what? It's on a weekend that we can't go. So, but we've been before. It's a lot of fun.
Next time.
Pretty jacked. We finally get to go to a show. I wanted to see they were coming, and then nasty pandemic killed it. But in this moment, and Black Veil Brides were coming, and so I was all excited because now they're going to come back, and we can't go. But we get to go. They're going to run the Blues Festival in. They have this downtown, open up all the streets, and all the bars are open. And if the bar isn't on that particular on Montana Avenue, they bring it. So you just party, and we're going to see Kev Mo, and I'm really excited about that because I just love him, and watch a little blues and.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, that'd be nice.
And if it rains, nobody cares. Last time we went, we saw George Thorogood, and it was raining, and everybody was dancing and drinking and having a good time. It didn't matter.
Excellent.
I love it when people bring up George Thorogood though, because like there's always some asshole that's like, yeah, but like all his songs sound the same. I'm like, yeah, but the song's good, so fuck it. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Look, as long as you enjoy it. Yeah.
So, since everybody's in different places, I mean, in terms of the pandemic, I mean, how's it in Wyoming? Are they like
we do whatever we damn well please. This is Wyoming.
I'm moving to
Rules
Wyoming.
do not apply to us. Trust me. I believe they don't apply to us.
I see the people driving in the cars with the mask on. It drives me crazy. I just want to say, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
By themselves.
Yeah, no, and like we're at the point where like if you work somewhere, you have to wear the mask, if you're an employee, but like when the people come in, like they have to wear a mask, but like nobody gives a shit. So
okay, so if the CDC says that, hey, it doesn't matter anymore, so why do people still have to wear the mask?
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to cause people to go get the vaccine, and if you don't have the vaccine, then you have to wear your mask. But they're not having a vaccine police, so how do they know?
Yeah.
Right.
Damien, what do they do over there?
Damien?
Yeah, so we're only kind of coming out of lockdown now in the last about week and a half. So it's the first time in months where we had kind of like all the major, or not the major, all the smaller types of shops and hairdressers and all that open. And we're eagerly awaiting the pubs reopening now in the next few weeks as well. So they were open for a couple of weeks, I think around September, October last year. But I mean, it's close to about a year, 12 non-continuous months of no pubs. Like, so where each of us are just dying for, just especially with the weather being so nice, just to even sitting out in a beer garden having a couple of pints, because obviously it's a big cultural thing over here. Like a pub over here is kind of like your second home. Everybody knows everybody. You have that tradition of going in for a couple of pints, and you see all your neighbors, you see all your community there, and there's all sorts of social events at it. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are now. In terms of kind of infection rates, they're really, really low. We had a bit of a rough kind of period over Christmas and kind of early January, but it's really starting to come down now with the social distancing policies, and vaccination rates are really high for the elderly, which is obviously we want to prioritize those who are the most vulnerable. And they're a little bit slower for the likes of people like me in my 30s type of thing. So it'll probably be a couple of months at least before I get vaccinated. But we're in the right track. We're definitely in the right direction. So hopefully the worst of it is over. That's
I remember one time I was talking to you, you were lamenting that there was this pub that was closed for St. Patty's Day that like had been open for like the pub was like about 1,000 years old.
Yeah, I mean, pretty like all the pubs, there's so many pubs that are like hundreds and hundreds of years old over here, and it's crazy. I think because I worked in the pub trade for close to a decade. I associate Paddy's Day with people being jammed into a pub and live music and everyone just being in good humor. We all kind of get our faces painted. You wear the tricolour, just really, really. I suppose everyone's in high spirits, and then to just see what it is now, like no parades for 2 years, which is it's crazy. Like you always have a parade on Paddy's Day, and 2 years without one now, it's driving me a little bit mad, But hopefully we'll be in a position that next year, we'll be a lot more settled and we can have our pubs and our parades, and we can get the face all painted up and wear the flag and scream my little heart's content.
Yeah, I know that. New Orleans, very similar to that. With like, hey, listen, we're drinking, we're having a parade, all this and that, and then they told them, hey, because of COVID, we're shutting you down, and they're like, we're having a parade. If we die, we die. Fuck the police, we'll fucking fight you, and then they did it anyway, and then yeah.
Hey, David, do you have any pictures framed of you with the tri face?
Yeah, it's all on Instagram. If you look back, a couple of weeks ago in March, you'll see me proudly painted up,
I
and then
saw
the
that
year
one.
before as well. Yeah,
I saw that one. That was good.
yeah.
Oh,
I said, no, look, we can't have a parade, so I'm still going to wander around like the community, like all painted up, with the kids waving flags at like randomers. And to be honest, like it was great atmosphere because you had like plenty of people were doing the same, and even some of the elderly kind of came up and just they're all like, "Fair play to you there, well done, that's great to see. We love to see that spirit there. We may not have our pose, but good on you. So it was nice for the day that was in it. Yeah, there we go. That was last year, so I think I have a more recent one. With the 2 books then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
We didn't stop that in Wyoming.
No.
Our big party is the 4th of July, and
Nice.
and we got permission to run a rodeo and have our big parade, and we did. And the only thing is there were some things we couldn't do, like the beer gardens and stuff. They wouldn't let us have it, but we had a parade, and it was awesome to be able to go to the parade.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel your pain, because if we hadn't had that would have been a bummer.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. But
a lot more open in Wyoming.
Yeah, fair play.
I don't have a house right now, so I guess I could.
Yeah, where are you? Are you shacked up in a hotel, or are you like at a friend's house? Or
no, but I'm still in my house. They leased it back to us for 2 months.
Oh,
that was really cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So you either do that while you're.
Well, I look for a new house. While I come on a road trip and go see all of y'all, because I'm looking for a new house.
Yeah, do come up to Ireland.
I got a spare room. It's even got its own bathroom. Come on.
Oh, that's key. Then I'm there.
You're in.
We'll all go to
Ireland. It's an island, right?
You know what? I could probably fly there cheaper than it was to mail you something.
Yeah, you probably
No
would.
kidding.
I'd
No
absolutely
kidding.
believe it. Yeah.
Just stop at the duty-free store on the way in and be like, "No, I brought this all the way from Colorado. Totally didn't buy this at the airport. Here you go, buddy."
Yeah, probably get it cheaper at the airport as well. Then there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, just sending stuff to Tam and a Tripp, they were like, "Is there anything liquid in here?" And I'm like, "No." Is there anything metal or this? I'm like, "No." Paranoid.
I told them it was books and it was book rate, and they let it go.
Nice.
Genius.
I didn't lie. There were books.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
no, the lady at the post office here, they're pretty adamant about the book rate only being like textbooks and nonfiction, and I'm like, but it's media mail, not nonfiction literature mail.
It's the same thing though, isn't it? A book's a book,
Yeah, book's a book.
You think?
Doesn't matter. Why
If they're really going to open up the
Curious
can
what kind it is?
extreme. Yeah.
No. Then again, when I'm mailing them out, they're like in that ammo can, and there's a bunch of other shit in there, and it weighs pounds. And the post office hates those, by the way. Like,
Say.
Yeah, those probably aren't too cheap to mail out. I imagine.
Yeah.
A little war chest.
It's good novelty though. I think they're really really good setup.
Yeah.
That is really cool, Tripp. That's that's an awesome thing.
Well, what's funny is I didn't even mean to do that. Like, I was just trying to think of a cool picture to take for Instagram. And I was like, I wonder if they fit in here. All right, cool. Click, and then upload. And people are like, where do I buy that? I'm like, here.
What are you going to do when you have 3 more books? You're not going to be able to fit them in there.
I'm gonna wait till I have. So that series is gonna be 12 parts when it's done. So I'll have the War Chest 1 and 2.
That's really smart, man. Yeah, I like that.
There you
That's
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
See,
play.
he's got a
Just
war
took a
chest.
class on that.
He's got his own
sevens.
t-shirt stuff. Does art, music, show off.
Yeah. Whole shebang. That's really cool.
I think we should do a random spin. What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
I got my shot glass ready somewhere here.
Oh, look, that landed on Tripp.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, listen. I have 2 rules that won't get erased. One of them is someone coughs or gags on Fireball. Next time that person has to do it with whoever's next. And then the other one is if Fireball is taking, if no face is made, everyone else drinks.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
So either you're doing 2 in a row or you're
time, Tripp.
Say what?
I would cough and gag on Fireball every single time. That's a given.
then you're gonna have a very bad time.
No.
Wait, Michelle didn't send you a care package? Dang.
So what is this fireball anyway? Because remember, your enemies.
We need to give you some Fireball, Damien.
It's
good?
whiskey, they say.
Right. What it is?
It says
Cinnamon
whiskey, but I'm pretty sure it's more of a schnapps. But who the hell knows? I mean, it's gross. It's gross, is what it is. And Michelle is a demon for this. And I've been taking notes. And at some point, I'm going to write a book where she's the villain and
just drown her in a pile of cinnamon and whiskey, is it?
Yeah.
Hey, last time, I mean, I just had a little tic-tac-toe board, and it's very simple. I just said, if he does the one eye thing that he does, he had a drink. But as the evening progressed, he started hitting all those boards.
It's like you stalk me on Instagram or something, Michelle.
Michelle, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Cosmo.
That's delicious. What are you drinking?
That's fancy.
So it's perfect. It's Deep Eddy's lemon vodka, cranberry. Do I have to drink? Cranberry. Oh, we all have to drink. Cranberry, sparkling, I don't know what they call it, seltzer. It's great. Yeah, I thought it was low cal, but it's really not. Yeah. And because none of us made a face during Tripp's thing, he's saying we all have to drink.
Okay, Tripp.
Whoa, hold on. The whole thing.
The whole thing?
I drank the whole thing.
Well, hey,
you're not drinking the whole things?
I'm not your age.
No, I'm just doing the shot. I'm a sissy. I'm doing the shot.
All right, Tam, you just do the shot.
Ready?
Michelle, no. There's none of this. I'm not your age. Look, you have more experience than I do.
Hey, listen. My friends are letting me down because I told them all to put in the comments, hey, Michelle, spin, so I could get y'all. And they're texting me going, I can't get on. I'm like, hey, I can figure this out, y'all.
Yeah, no.
What's the fairy tales? YouTube.
My thing, fucking whatever the YouTube is. It's also on my Facebook and my Twitter right now. So
I know my son said, trying to find it. I left a comment
I
on
sent them all on Facebook to go to you. I sent my friends all to Facebook to go to you.
I don't do Facebook.
Whew. I didn't make the face at first, but it's coming back.
yeah, it's not pleasant.
Oh, whew.
Yeah, so let's describe Fireball to Damien. You ever had Big Red Gum?
No.
You ever had
hot tamales?
No, I've never heard of it. I mean, I will have heard.
Tamales?
No, I drank like some sort of schnapps thing that had like chilies in it. That's probably the closest thing I can think of.
We're sending you hot tamales. I don't care how much it costs to send it to you.
Yeah.
What is it?
And Big Red Gum.
All right. Okay.
That totally fits. I mean, you can even give that away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be part of your swag, Damien.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. And what is it? It's like spicy chewing gum or something, is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know the other cultural stuff, but yeah, no. So
yeah, we don't have that over here now.
Some Big Red Gum, and then you have to come down to the American Southwest, and we have to fill you full of like the worst Mexican food on the planet. And when I say worst, I mean like your mouth is going to think that you died and God just like assaulted you in a good way, and then your asshole is going to think that you're getting gangbanged by demons on the other end, and you're gonna fucking love it.
Sign me up. Sounds great.
I don't know where you're having this food trip because that never happens to me, and I love it hot.
Oh no! See, like you know how like you get that like a bar on the side that's just those like spicy carrots and the
oh, so good! I love those.
I just eat the carrots like a lot. Like I'll get like a taco, a little burrito, and like a big plate of the carrots, and just it. And then like while my mouth may be able to deal with this, from here down, I am still white.
Well, you definitely wouldn't like my queso then because I make it pretty hot.
Good.
But it's damn good.
Well, what's that?
My queso.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Yeah. You don't know what queso is?
No.
It's cheese, and mine has hamburger meat, onions, a bunch of spices, a bunch of jalapenos.
Oh, nice.
You just put a meal in your nacho sauce.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Damien, we're either bringing you here or we're coming to you, and we're about to get cultured.
Yeah.
We can't go to him.
Queso, a little Red Hots, a little Fireball.
That sounds deadly. Yeah, no, I think
we can't
hopefully
make him any Mexican food there though, and I'll tell you why. When I was living over there, it cost like $7 for a little teeny can of green chilies. It's
really?
Insane.
Yeah, probably will be right.
59 cents here.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, I'm
to feed him.
I'm kind of hoping to head over to the States now in January. I think because like the things obviously with the year we've had, like the family kind of wanted to do something, and we've obviously never been over to the States. So I kind of wanted to do a tour of all the US kind of like Civil War kind of battle sites, but I got outvoted, and apparently we're going to Disneyland instead. So it's worth a shot. But yeah, I'll definitely be trying to sample all this different kind of cuisine and stuff like that.
Is
So.
this California or Florida?
Florida.
Okay, so you should be able to get some good Cuban food down there.
Cool.
It's not the same as Mexican food. Like people from I don't know, Kentucky will tell you. A lot of rice
because that's what you're gonna do.
Well, also while you're there, you'll be able to get some good seafood, and you'll be able to eat some alligator, which people, for whatever reason, are turned off by gator. I think it's delicious.
Yeah, I'd love to try it.
I agree with you.
Say I tried it, Yeah, why not?
I'm a texture person.
Gator's got a lot of texture. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, definitely like hit me with those recommendations. Anyway, yeah.
You're from Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Texas.
Texas. Drink.
Number one. Not sure which finger, but you're number one.
Oh, that was the number one thing I wrote down.
Texas.
Well, technically, I'm not really from Texas because I was born in Hawaii, military.
Army brat.
Went to let's see. Went to the Pentagon, DC area. Went to Montgomery, Alabama. Maxwell, or where is that? Yeah. Anyways, oh look, my son made it on.
Hi, Wyatt.
Michelle needs to spin. Oh, look at that. I need to spin. Hey, Damien, do you want me to spin yours?
Yes.
Oh, look. It's on Tripp.
Brilliant.
Of course it is.
Thank you, Wyatt. Mwah. You're my favorite oldest son.
Brilliant.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I like to make Tripp drink.
Poor Tripp.
Hey, this is Tripp's party. He should be able to drink as much as we want him to.
I think so too.
Great.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you what. Tam's got great names for her family members. I'll let her explain.
Yeah, go for it.
But listen, I mean, this is something to aspire to. It really is.
No, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Great names for my family.
We've got Cruiser Man and
Cruiser Man and Super Son and Awesome Son and Gorgeous Girl. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Cruiser Man right now is working on his 28 Roadster because he's pissing me off because he won't quit working on it. And it's my favorite of all of his rides. And I want him to quit messing with it. And we race it. We have old airplane out of a fighter bomber seatbelts, and the doors are held shut with bungee cord. And it'll do 70.
Real quick, are you sure?
It's a drop top. It'll do 70, and we know that because we were down in Colorado and we were racing it. And then we got on the freeway and we were supposed to be doing 55, but it doesn't have a speedometer. And so we got that little flashy light that says slow down because we were doing 70. And then I said to him, I said, dude, we don't have helmets on. We don't have airbags. We have these little tiny old airplane bomber seatbelts and the doors held shut with a bungee cord.
Tam,
and then he just hit the gas harder. So there you go.
You said earlier that you were an English teacher. Are you sure you didn't mean Motorhead roadie? It sounds more like you're a Motorhead roadie than an English teacher.
Don't I wish.
Right.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
That would have been a good time. That would have been a good time.
Hey, my sweet
And
son.
actually, Cruiserman's all about Motorhead. He loves Motorhead.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Michelle.
he plays it loud.
Yeah, dude, that was a fucking tragedy though. We lost Lemmy and David Bowie in the same fucking week.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
crazy. Yeah.
And that was before 2016. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. My daughter just said Michelle needs to spin. Damien, which one do you think I should pick? Left or right?
Oh,
You
the
lead with
good one. Which one's the good one?
They both end up on Tripp.
Yeah. Left.
Hey, so I'm gonna show you something. After Tripp drinks,
Right.
I'm gonna show you a little something.
Oh, guess what? It actually landed on Tam.
Oh,
No. That landed on Michelle and Tam.
No, look.
No. The
Look.
manufacturer made those lines for a reason. You don't get to make up your own. Hey, no. You already spun.
I'm doing my thing, and I'm repping my school. There you go.
Oh, that's good.
Cool.
There you go.
I'm repping my drink.
I'm trying not to make the face. Damn it!
We all drink.
So
See
crap.
what you did? Doesn't that mean we all drink, Tripp?
I mean,
All drinks.
we can't all drink. We can't.
You had me at let's drink. Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're a team here, all right? We're a team.
Exactly.
Oh, damn it.
Authors supporting authors.
That's right. Authors supporting authors. Hey, so I'm going to show you. This is what Cruiserman's doing.
Oh, so what?
wow.
Are,
That's pretty cool.
Without the glare.
what'd you say that was? Is that a Model A?
Yeah, it's a 29 Roadster.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's what he's working on and pissing me off because he won't quit playing with it and doing stuff to it.
My husband can change light bulbs.
This is. I'm going to show you his other ride.
It's the Holy Grail, Michelle.
He's gonna ditch me. I actually get to go to an author signing event, and he's ditching me because that got hurt.
Well,
and so he had to send it out somewhere to get it fixed.
That's a nice
I'll
car.
go to the author signing event.
Hey, the author signing event's in Deadwood. You can come and
What is
gamble
it?
and drink and have a good time.
What is it?
Father's Day weekend, 18th of June.
Nice.
Honey, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't need to be around you.
Yep. And and it's open to everybody. So it doesn't make any difference what you write. It's just a big author signing event. It's called Wild Deadwood Reads. It's
Yeah.
actually run by one of my critique partners.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So what happens? Like, just authors all come around with their books, and you just kind of they sign their books, and
Yeah,
sell them, is
we're having a reading the night on the 17th. We're doing readings, and then on the 18th it's just a big free for all, and they're having Wild Deadwood days. So lots of people
Nice.
will be in town.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
that'd be
hoping
good,
to
yeah.
sell a few books.
excellent.
Get
Yeah,
some new fans.
yeah,
That
good. Yeah, fair play.
That sounds like a good way to do it. I mean, now, granted, I could never do public reading because I think 61% of the words I use are fuck.
It's true.
Well, I'm reading from Talisman because in the paranormal books I don't drop fuck, but
Oh.
if I was reading from Play for Me, I'd be in trouble because that shows up in there.
Yeah, no. So like, what is it like? My books are all about Marines, and I make it accurate. And since the Marines put our sailors to shame as far as swearing goes, and our sailors are on the swearing and drinking level as no offense, Damien, but an Irish dock worker.
Love it. Yeah, those Irish dock workers are pretty bad, all right. But yeah, look, Tripp, if you ever get the opportunity to do like a live speaking event, it has to be something around that the sex scene with Hank and Penelope when they're blind, stinking drunk.
Oh
Just,
God, that is
that
so
should be-
bad.
that
That
should
is
be-
so
I
bad.
know. But just that should be your bit right
Yeah,
there.
so Tam, I'm gonna run this sex scene down for you real quick. It's well, you're a romance author, you might appreciate it. You might fucking
I
hate
think
this.
you will
I'm
appreciate
not gonna read it word for word, but I'm gonna pretty much do it. But anyway, they're at a bar, they're drinking. It's Penelope's birthday. Also, for the sake of story, she's a space alien and doesn't have a concept of like exchanging birthday gifts or whatever. So they have this fight and they make up and they go back up to Penelope's apartment and they're both drunk and Penelope starts giving Hank a blowjob and then like he pulls her in a little bit too far and then like she pukes on his balls and then he's like she looks up about to say I'm sorry but then he pukes on her face and then they both fall down and just start vomiting on each other and then like they're convulsing and kicking the shit out of each other on accident while they're yakking and then like Hank's trying to drag Penelope to the shower to clean up but there's too much puke on the floor.
Hey, listen, I think he wrote this from experience.
I don't think that's a sex scene.
All I'm saying is I think he wrote this from experience.
And folks, this is why you should read Smokepit fairy tales.
And then it's the funniest series I've ever read. I laugh out loud.
Honestly, I was just doing some reading today about making your characters do something unexpected, and that would be it.
It's a scene and a half.
No, I think I made that like the him dragging her to the shower, just like 3 pages long. Most of it's inner monologue, just like, why the fuck am I doing this? This could not suck. Hey, listen, God, I don't talk to you a lot, but I either want you to kill me or make this better, whichever one's quicker, man. Just do one of them.
And Tripp, what was your inspiration for this scene?
So a lot of my stuff comes from either personal experience or
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think you wrote
or a lot of it is like either somebody tells me a story or I watch something on TV or read something. I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny, but it'd be a lot better if this happened instead.
And is this one of those that's from a personal experience or
balls while they're giving him a blowjob is pretty damn.
Hey, Tam, if
I don't know. I think I have to find a place to replicate that somewhere in one of my books. I'm gonna have to find a place to replicate.
Well, not
because that's just too good.
But you said you were fucking talking about Celtic gods. There has to be a Celtic god of Jameson, and if there's not, shame on Ireland.
Hey, Tim, when you read his books, like I was on the airplane and I had this, which is a big book that I always give you grief about. That's like
problems away.
Yeah, and so I'm like looking around to make sure no one's watching. It's like when people are watching porn in an airplane. I'm reading the book. I'm like, I hope they don't see this.
Yeah. No, actually, I can't really describe my book to like a '70s porno movie. Like there's an actual plot.
And I was like, hey.
And then there's like a sex scene that I don't hold anything back from. And
I asked my husband, I was like, hey, do people do this?
In the barracks, this ain't you.
Hey, listen, I grew up in the '80s. I'm joking.
I kind of feel like that about reading about Maddie Baker because honestly, I'm reading along and Cruiser Man's sitting on the other couch and I'm cracking up and he's like, "What?" And then I have to read him a passage. So you know what? I'm looking forward to Tripp's book. I haven't read it yet, and I'm looking forward to Damien's. Because sci-fi is not my go-to, but I do like it.
No, listen, both of them.
So I just won't read it on the plane.
Yeah, probably for the best.
What's funny though is Michele sent me, I think it was Fable, her third book to beta read, and I was giving her notes on it, and one of the greatest ones was she said something about the Chinese people, and I was like, okay, all right, so Chinese people. All right, so communists aren't people; they're property of the state. And here you're implying they're human beings. And no, just cross it out.
Yeah, he gave me a couple of notes. My son, he actually beta reads for me. He's like, "Mom, you can't say that." I'm like, "Yeah, I can."
My editor every now and again will say things like, you're gonna make some people unhappy if you're
not reading my book
here. And I'm like, but that's what my character would say. Yeah. So I'm going there.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
I'm going there. Yeah. You know what? I can't please everybody, and I can't be responsible for all your triggers.
Yeah, so, and if it is for everybody, nobody fucking likes that shit.
No.
So make it for your audience. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
what
that's
is
what they say. You have to stay true.
What is the last Netflix or Hulu or whatever series that y'all watched?
The last.
Because I've watched some stuff that's terrible, and I'm like, our books would be better.
I know.
You know,
yeah.
the last thing I watched on Netflix was The Queen's Gambit, which was freaking awesome.
Good.
Yeah, that was a cool film. I really enjoyed it. That was
I
very
like
good. You know?
Yeah, no,
Like a young woman gets drugged out of it, like, and becomes a chess world champion. Like, that's pretty badass as the stories go. It turns out, your man, Heath Ledger, he was actually supposed to direct that film a couple of months before he died. He'd optioned the rights for it and all. That was going to be his directorial debut, but then obviously he passed away and stuff. Yeah, and that's why he was sitting in basically production limbo for years until it was picked up by Netflix. Like, so, yeah, there's a tidbit of information now. That could have been out 20 years ago.
Huh.
Wow.
Well, speaking of that, Damien, that's a two-parter for me. So first off, like, just given the cultural biases, I would imagine that you would automatically dislike anything that had to do with the English. Secondly, I heard this Irish folk song the other day, and I'd like to sing the whole thing for you right now. Don't worry, it's not long. It goes,
okay.
Lighty-di-dee-dee, lighty-di-dee-doo, kill a fucking Irishman and throw him in the sea, or Englishman. Kill a fucking Englishman and throw him in the sea.
Yeah, I've heard stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. Like, we'd have like what we call rebel music over here. So it's real kind of like old school kind of rebel songs that kind of commemorate the IRA kind of actions against the British and stuff like that around the War of Independence. You know, and it'd still be kind of fairly popular. But in terms of relations, we get on very, very well now. It's like a lot different from when I was growing up, when like you'd like stick on the news, you read a paper and it's like the IRA attacks this group, or the UVF is blown up like a bunch of Catholics and stuff like that. So yeah, things are much better now, thank God.
Hey, listen, Jeff just said Michelle needs to spin. I'll be fair, and this could be one of us.
No. To be fair, do it like this.
Oh, it's right on the line between Tripp and Damien.
Oh, we both better drink then.
I'm up for a twofer, but how about from now on when we spin, we do it like this?
Oh, you want to do it straight? Oh, because you don't want it to always go down?
Yeah, you know, like maybe gravity doesn't have a fucking thing in it, but maybe I'll go.
Oh, look! Tripp! Hey, Tripp.
I'm going to keep some of that in my mustache for later.
Hey, I'm gonna drink this with you. No face. See that?
Hardcore. That's hardcore.
No,
Well done.
hardcore.
Repping it for Texas.
Hardcore.
Get on it.
Yeah, you're kicking my ass. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff, you fucking hoodlum. is it hoodlum or hooded lum?
Hooded lum. Now listen, he's with a bunch of they're recently commissioned officers. Don't do anything that'll get you in trouble. Kid.
Wait. Is this one of the guys that your Navy SEAL guys are based off of?
No.
Is it Space Force?
No, he's probably Air Force if I had to guess. I don't know.
So are you going to add Space Force now that your son's in there?
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I have to because he reads my books.
You know, I thought Space Force was really, honestly, I thought Space Force was totally a joke. I was just like, oh my God, my dad's Air Force.
Oh, so my brother's Air Force.
But now I've done a little reading about that, and I kind of feel like,
just fill me in. Like, what is like what's Space Force doing? Because I heard like they're supposed to be exploring like military tactics, but in space. Like, but what's the training? What's like I don't really know much about it.
I have no idea.
But like the setup for it is like, you know how like originally, well, with us especially, but like pretty much everybody, like you didn't have an Air Force. The Air Force was just part of the Army, and then it's something like, and this is a big enough thing to take care of its own branch. So since then, with us anyway, like satellite warfare or anything that's above the stratosphere was all the Air Force's job, and that's become enough of a theater is not the right word, but component in the overall, like strategy to become its own element. So like, they're responsible for space stuff. They're responsible for the above stratosphere stuff that the Air Force used to be responsible for.
Are they? But will they be kind of training for like things like fighting on the moon and Mars and stuff like that?
No. They're totally going to send the Marines for that because
Oh my God! First of all, for the record, Tripp hates Air Force. I mean,
I don't hate the Air Force.
I just don't think they can drink. He disses them in every one of his books. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it's just because the Air Force has better accommodations and better food than the Marines. That's all.
Do not get me down that rabbit hole. That's all we'll talk about for the next fucking hour.
I know.
In keeping with the giveaway, do you have any jokes with the Air Force then? Like, is there any Marine jokes about the Air Force or?
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing with that though is like the Air Force, like, it's a little bit, it's shifted a lot away now. Like, if you go back to like say like 1995 ish and back, like it didn't matter what branch you were in. Like being in the military just sucked. And then like after they started branching stuff out to where it's like, I guess the appropriate analogy was the Air Force became more of like an office job, and then the Marine Corps still kept treating everybody like they were minorities.
Right.
So in my family, we got them all. My dad was Air Force. My husband's Army. My nephew just commissioned a second lieutenant in the Marines last week, and my other nephew is an E5 in the Navy. So we got it. We got it covered, except for Space Force.
I got Army, Air Force, and Space Force.
That's brilliant.
There you go.
I have a funny story for you, Tam. So, like, my dad was in the Air Force in the late 70s, early 80s timeframe.
Mm-hmm.
And his job was, he was the guy that, loaded ordnance on, bombers and fighters and stuff. And there was a plane called the F-111, which was kind of what the F-14 was developed out of later, except for it was a nuclear bomber, fighter craft thing. Now, what they would do is, like, because of all the, like, lock and key stuff you have to do for nuclear weapons, like, if you would have the plane on the runway, you'd have the bomb outside of it. You would, to even like send that thing out on patrol with that thing on it, you'd have to get like X amount of fucking signatures. You'd have to have like so many sign-offs on it, and you get this big module next to it that had this, like, I think it was like a 46-digit key code next. You have to like arm it before you put it on the plane, and then a second different key code to arm it once it's on the thing. But what since it's a nuclear bomb, you would have to have like a guard around it. So it being the military, my dad was on guard on this thing, and they had like a 12-hour shift, and you're out there with this bird and this bomb and nothing to fucking do besides make sure nobody fucks with the bomb. So my dad was bored and was just punching numbers into the thing, 46 numbers, red light, 46 numbers, red light, 46 numbers, red light, 46 numbers. Oh, that light's green. Oh, that light's green. Oh, that light's green. Oh, that light's green. Holy fuck, that light's green. And then he said, his face met the pavement, and then he didn't see sunlight for a week while he got the shit kicked out of him, wondering how the fuck he knew the nuclear codes. And he's like, I was just bored on duty. Leave me alone.
That's mad.
Yeah,
that's really crazy.
Yeah. I think my dad was in for 4 years and made E5, I think 3 times. The apple falleth far from the tree, or doesn't fall. Whatever it is,
My dad was a mechanic, so yeah, he was pretty safe on the ground, not up flying with the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah. Pure random, like, jeez.
Well, I mean, you got 2 hours and nothing to do besides that, and then like, what's up, Bob? Hanging out. All right. You shouldn't be touching that. Yeah, it's not going to be great. God damn it.
Oh, let's bring it.
Green light. Oops.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the problem over there. No.
That's cool.
Okay.
Also, Michelle, that's cool and all, but did you know that Wilson is actually your favorite son?
Oh no, he tells me.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. I heard that too. All the way over here in Ireland.
Yeah. I was like, Wilson, all you have to text is Michelle needs to spin.
Well, if the favorite son says it,
There
then
he goes. Yay, Wilson! You're my favorite youngest son. Let's see, which one should we do?
Do you want spin both of them and then do 2 out of 3 if they land on the same?
Okay, let's see. Hey, I'll even do it the right way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right on Tam, and it went to random. I think that's Damien.
yeah, I'll take that.
There you go.
You don't have to twist my arm.
And then
Yeah, because you're not drinking fucking Fireball. That You're actually drinking.
Yeah, that is
alcohol,
the difference, Damien.
But this is for the cause. I'm trying to get us
our
our Jemson sponsorship deal. You know,
Please.
I'm taking one for the team.
Cheers to that, man. Cheers.
And, hey, Tripp.
You need one for like.
You're on the other one.
I'm on the other one. Oh shit! Fuck.
But Tam, I think you got to drink too. So there you go. Wilson, it's crucial that she needs to spend for some reason. He's 18. He's my favorite youngest son.
How many kids do you have? 3?
3.
Oh, so speaking of that, fucking, my wife is watching that show Sister Wives about these polygamous Mormons, and they have like 30-something kids, and it's like, first off, like I love my wife to death. I do not want fucking 2 of them. This motherfucker has 4. Like,
that's gotta be intense.
Secondly, 25 fucking kids, and like each wife has her own house that can accommodate these kids, and he's working in, I think, advertisement. Is like, dude, what? No, seriously, like, how much cocaine are you actually selling to be able to fucking pay for it?
Yeah, that's fun.
So there's a little town about an hour south of where I live, and the kids will tell you who their moms are, but they won't tell you who their dad is, because in Wyoming that's not legal.
They're not sure,
but they know exactly who their dad is.
Oh, how funny!
Got 25 kids and 5 wives, but it's not legal in Wyoming. So
is it not illegal in Utah as well, though?
It's not legal anywhere.
It's not legal anywhere.
Right. That's mad. Jeez.
Yeah. What?
They just don't tell who their dad is. They just don't have one.
Right. Okay.
And this little town has nothing going on in it, so I really don't know how the guy affords them. Truly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, I'm with Tripp. You know, one's good.
Yeah.
Now,
there's no way.
And though, there was one of the Afghan police commanders that was saying that like the best way to have a situation is to have 2 wives, because they're doing the things around the house all day, and when you come home, they both fight over which one of them loves you more. And I was like, this really only works if you can like hit your wife in the face or shoot her if she steps out of line. I don't know if that would fly on my side of the lake.
Yeah.
That might have to be in a different country. Just saying.
Well, I mean, it was Afghanistan, so
there it is.
See, my youngest, bring the leftover fireball down when you're done. It's been a long day.
Well, Mom.
He wants you to save a little though for the side, doesn't he? He's gonna sneak into your little cabinet and
oh yeah,
with it.
Nah, he's actually a good kid. He wouldn't do that. He'd ask. I wouldn't care.
Michele, I have a question for you. Did you sneak your parents' booze when you were that age?
All the time.
Okay, what makes you think he's any different?
I
mean, there he is.
No, he's a big workout kid. He wants to work out. He doesn't want,
you know what?
That doesn't mean anything. I used to fucking drink till 3 o'clock in the morning and then get up and run 6 miles at fucking 5. So I mean, we can do that.
Hey, listen.
Super son played football in college, and oh my gosh, that kid drinks me under the table in 3 seconds flat. And he is a workout. He's a workout nerd.
Here's the problem with this generation.
Workout nerd.
We have too much technology. We should know where they are or what they're doing.
Well, I mean, you can turn your phone off, right? You don't have to know.
Oh no, listen. I mean, I try not to, but I tell parents all the time, I'm like, hey, don't look. Remember what we did? Stop that. You know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, they know their kids go 10 miles over the speed limit. I'm like, who cares?
Let them do stupid shit. How do they learn? How do they learn if they don't do stupid shit?
Yeah, you have to make your own mistakes. That's what it's all about. I think that's one of the key things about learning.
My kids need to get off now.
It's all about to come out now.
Take a bunch of fireworks apart and pack a 2-liter fucking Coke fucking bottle full of this shit. You're buried about a foot in the ground. You get a really big bang. Picture the fuse.
Taking notes.
No, but think about this. Remember us doing fireworks growing up as a kid?
Yeah, and all my scars are on my hands.
Well, exactly. But guess what? We lived, right?
Right.
We had fun. We experienced stuff. Now you have this stuff.
We put our kids in cotton wool, and then then when the world comes out and smacks them, they don't know what to do with it.
No.
Can't
Exactly.
do that.
Yeah, no, not at all. No. I mean, it's a tough world out there. Like, and I think if you try and mollycoddle them a little bit, like, won't get you anywhere. You know. I mean, I know kind of. I sure as hell was mollycoddled growing up. Like, you just, that's life. You just get out there, you make your own mistakes, and you kind of have to stand up on your own 2 feet. Like, so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Damien, I understood everything you said in context. What is mollycoddled though?
I love that.
Yeah.
Word. That's awesome.
It's not a word.
Yeah, Irishism. Kind of like, being overly protective. Like being a helicopter parent. That sort of thing. You know.
All right.
So yeah.
But
Yeah.
why Molly though? Was there a woman named Molly that did that? And then
But there could have been. That's just. I suppose it's like an Irish phrase. You just say like if you're
When you say
overprotective
Molly,
or
I think
overbearing.
something else.
yeah, Molly's a drug over there.
Hey, I've seen that.
mollycoddle. Yeah.
You got that cool little statue there with Molly Malone right there in the the square downtown.
Good old
Denver.
Molly. Good old Molly. God bless her. What a queen.
Well, that
I think
Molly
I have
was
my
a very
picture taken with her. I think I was just did the tourist thing and took my picture with her.
Oh, we all do. Yeah, it's one of those things. You come over to Dublin, you have to pay your tribute to Molly Malone.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
You guys keep going. I'll be right back.
Go.
Where are you going?
I'm going to go to use a euphemism, drain the lizard.
Okay. Tripp. Take it with you while you're gone.
Brilliant.
Okay. So listen, I mean, obviously I love Tripp.
Yep.
He writes art, music. I call him show off, really.
I love his art. His art is fantastic. It's just so creative.
Yeah, fair balls. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I'm telling you, he needs his own Howard Stern show. Oh, look.
Yes.
That's one of the sponsor things I have for us.
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that'd be
Great on
badass.
He needs
Sponsorship
that's what
from
he needs. His
Howard
own
Stern.
show.
Well, and he speaks in the way that he talks, just totally fits with Howard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
like
it's
they get
perfect.
with Howard.
Oh, he'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So
Get a petition going then, yeah. Let's do it. Sponsorship of Howard Stern and Jemison. I think we can make it happen. Yeah.
Damien, I've been thinking about this now that you haven't had queso,
Yeah.
or hot tamales, or
Big Red Gum.
What is your favorite food?
Pizza. I'd be quite partial to a pepperoni pizza now. Yeah, love it.
Nothing's wrong with pepperoni. You like thin or thick?
Thick, yeah.
Thick?
Pepperoni, mushroom, and if I'm feeling really sassy, like maybe like a bit of sausage, some kind of spicy pepper on it, like kind of thing,
Do you put any
Yeah.
hot peppers on it? Do you put like hot pepper flakes on it?
I'd have like the flakes kind of in the cheese, if you get me, and then I'd have like hot sauce then to dip into,
Okay.
Maybe a bit of garlic sauce.
You and me are on a good flip there because you're in Ireland and your favorite food's pizza, and pizza's Italian, but like let's be honest, like Italian Americans made that shit. On the flip side of that, like I'm an American and my favorite food is corned beef and cabbage.
Can't beat it.
Ah,
Real good stuff. Yeah.
We're gonna have to get a TV show and do that like exchange places thing. You live in my house, I live in yours, and then like you get to hang out in bumfuck nowhere, Pennsylvania, and drink in the basement, and then like I get to go to the pub and
It'd just be slipping to me out your back like firing off guns, like real, like pretty much
you
90% of the time, like down of beers, kind of on the target range, just firing off. Yeah.
no, we can do the holiday. We all switch houses.
Yeah.
There you go.
or we could do the holiday and just like all hang out in the same house.
There you
well,
go.
that
Even
too.
better.
I'm
Even better.
trying. I'm trying.
Like, all right,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen,
Guns on the
what's
gun, right?
happening in this TV show is these authors are giving 6 months to write a 10-page short story. Let's see what happens. And then no one's sober enough to write. It's just like, and
Netflix, if you're watching, listen.
Dan brought me on
listen.
a microfiction challenge, and they gave me a romantic comedy. And I'm like, what? How did I get romantic comedy?
wait, Maddie.
And
Beck
I got
is
horror.
romantic
So what
comedy?
the hell? and way to go, Michelle. I'm so glad you took my challenge and played along. Thanks. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
No, listen, it was
Yeah.
fun. I mean, I can write 100
And I hope
words.
to win. I've done this before and I just totally sucked. I got romance the last time and didn't make it past the first round. How bad is that?
Aren't you a romance writer though? That should be your bread and butter.
Well, you know what they didn't like is they thought that my male protagonist was a bit of a bully, and I was like, depends on the genre of romance you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. True.
So there. I think I got sissy. I think I kind of got a little bit of a sissy judge, somebody that had little thin skin.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Bummer.
Well, see, what you do with that, though, is you started off taking place in a place like, I don't know, Florida, where the sun gets rid of all the thin-skinned people because it kills them. And then you go from there.
That's how you do
There
it.
it is. Hey, you know what? I live in Wyoming, and there's a phrase in Wyoming. It's a really raunchy phrase, but it's a little phrase where men are men and sheep
This
are
group can handle it.
And
Are you implying that people are fucking the sheep? Because that's I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that in Asia. That's
there aren't very many of us out here. Just saying.
Gotta get your rocks off somehow, right?
We're outnumbered by antelope 2-1, so there's that.
Wait. So in that conversation would be pulling the wool over someone's eyes. Would that be an oral sex joke?
Please, I don't have to see that on. Here's the real reason.
Damn.
Oh, brilliant. That was brilliant.
Make it like Little Red Riding Hood, but instead of him hiding in the wool skin.
Oh, stop.
Brilliant.
So along through the woods, Abra march down the trail.
Sorry, I should never have done that. I should have never gone
Damn.
there. I apologize.
Damn, what are you thinking, man? Don't fuel them. Don't do it.
All right. So
I just don't understand how I got horror, and mine was horror and proposing marriage.
Yeah, that's
that was quite an interesting combination.
No, see, I was thinking with that, like you're going to go on the mutton track, because mutton is sheep. It's also something you put in your mouth.
I have a feeling some of these jokes are going to be in the next Smokepit book.
Hey, you know who's in my books? Tripp's in my books.
I seen a screenshot actually. Yeah, that was very good. Was it like, I can't remember the line or something, but it was like,
I get to be some
was called him a bastard or something like that, or he's I can't remember what it was. It was very good.
Tripp, he actually read my book I posted something about guns, and he bought the book, right? And he told me that I nicely told me that I had I had Master Chief versus Master something or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So I had to correct it, which I did.
You're calling a gunnery sergeant, or you're calling a Master Sergeant Gunny.
Yeah.
Gunnery sergeant.
Right.
So I changed it, and I thought, you know what? He took the time to tell me that. Then he should make it into a book.
Nice.
So he made it into the third book. Actually, he made it in. I think he made it into Fable and the 2 and 3. So
I wondered who, because I remember you mentioning that you had been called out on that and that you'd fixed it. I wondered who had done that. So that's cool to find out that it was Tripp.
that guy right there.
But no, there was also a really
Top
cool
corner. I don't know where he is on your corner, but he's on top corner for me.
But there was a really cool one in the really cool thing Maddie did in the first book where she got in a fight with somebody and the other person didn't hold the 1911 the right way so it wouldn't fire, which isn't something you would know unless you shot a 1911 because it has a secondary safety on the handle that you have to squeeze to be able to shoot it. So like if you had a 1911 and you held it like this, you couldn't pull the trigger and make it shoot because you have to squeeze the back of the finger to make it go bang. You have to put your booger finger there to.
I researched it.
Yes, sure. Research. Yeah. Listen. I called you on the research thing. You're like, oh no, I was doing some research, and she's holding this shotgun that's like twice the size of her. Like, I was doing some research. I'm like, yeah, dude, are you fighting the Kraken right now? Like, what are you shooting out there?
That's my oldest son. Now, Tam, when you do read Tripp and Damien's books, they're wonderful. And they both have some similarities with the sci-fi and the military and humor.
And we both
It's just a little bit more humorous, where Damien's is actually, you can see that the main character's like thinking about something, he's trying to figure things out, right?
Right.
So you get into that headspace because you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I understand this. I'd have the same problems.
Right.
Yeah.
If I picked up my computer and took you on a little tour of my office, you would see why I haven't read them yet. Because I actually have a library cart with 6 shelves on it, and they're full. And then the tops, there are piles on the tops, and that's my TBR.
Does the library
Writers' problems? Writers.
You're illegal, right? Like, how backed up are you on library fees?
I own them all. I just I'm a book junkie. I'm a total book junkie, and I see them, and somebody will share a book online or something, or a friend will tell me about a book or whatever, and the next thing I know, I'm scrolling through Barnes and Noble or Amazon or wherever and buying the book. So I have a massive TBR, but I made sure that my nephews in the military know all about Smokepit fairy tales because they're readers, and this is totally up their alley, I think. So I've passed that on, and now I'm going to have to pass on Damien's work too.
You will.
Cheers, thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah. But I mean, like you said, it's pure writer's problem. Like, I think because we're so involved in kind of writing and kind of like in the writing community, you just see so many books. Like I'm like yourself, Tam. Like I'm completely backlogged. But on top of that, I do a lot of kind of ARC reads and beta reads as well. For my colleagues in the British and Irish writing community, and it's completely wall to wall. I'll finish kind of one ARC or beta read, and then I'll get another, and then another, and then on top of that, like I'm again scrolling through Twitter, seeing all these different books, and kind of just thinking, geez, I like that, I get that. But I've got like wall to wall books. I'll never be able to finish them, and I'll keep seeing more books that I want to read, and it's struggling to find the time between like writing my own stuff and just trying to read all these fantastic books. There's not enough hours in the day.
Okay,
exactly.
So from the military point of view, though, there is something that Big Red was missing, Damien.
Yeah, fair away.
Here we go.
There was never a scene where fucking Dub was walking around the fucking side of Mars, with a couple of his friends online, picking up cigarette butts that he didn't fucking smoke.
We've been there.
Damn it! Why the fuck am I out here picking up this bullshit? Where the fuck are these at? It's not hard to put your fucking cigarette butt in the goddamn fucking thing. Fuck.
I think it's because I lived through that. I never wanted anyone to ever imagine that it existed. Like I never wanted to bring it to life in my own works. I wanted to gloss over that part of my life. I mean, the whole getting shouted at and screamed at and like endless hours of drills. That's fine, but the idea of trying to like remember or relive picking up cigarette butts or just like cleaning up a field with your hands, like just picking up bits of plastic and stuff for hours on end. Just no, I would never put my readers through that ever in a million years.
I like that you'll never put your readers through that.
In Big Red, and I remember there being a rock throwing scene in Big Red, and I don't know if this was intentional or not. But Damien, you might be able to back this up. Like when you're bored and you're on duty and you have nothing else to do, you just like pick up small rocks and throw them, and you try to hit either like a square in the Hesco or like a certain part of the grass or whatever, because the only thing you have to do is pick up small rocks and throw them over there. And
that's it. You have to find your own fun, And I do remember distinctly, like plenty of times in the past where, we were doing pointless, like mind-numbingly boring stuff, and you look for any way to entertain yourself, like, So, like, I think there was kind of moments in Big Red like that, but I didn't really want to dwell too much, and I kind of wanted to kind of show that, like, first off, they were glorified guards at the start, like they were completely isolated from the main stuff. And
they had this stuff where they like went to the fucking bar or the pub and just fucking drank and smoked and like talked about bullshit.
Yeah, after like the first month, that kind of happened, and it came up a few times after that. But I kind of wanted these highs and lows moments. So like, it's kind of like at the start, it's real. They're kind of training, they're trying to figure it all out, and they go for a couple of drinks, and then kind of shit kicks off a bit, and then it goes calm again, and then it kicks off like 10 times worse. So it's real up down, up down, up down.
Yeah,
until the end,
and then like no spoilers, not giving away anything in your books for people that want to read.
Please don't.
But there was a part in Big Red where Dublin, the main character, got into a little bit of trouble and some stuff happened. And the reason he got in trouble was kind of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And it got like trumped up way over behand, and then he got fucking slapped harder than he should have. But it's like, yeah, no, that makes sense that would happen that way.
No, isn't that typical? Shouldn't it be that
I was
way?
gonna say, isn't that normal? That's kind of how that rolls.
Yeah, no, it is. But normally in like military sci-fi, you don't see that stuff. They're like, oh, hey, listen, I got in trouble because I did something reckless and it got one of my teammates killed. It's like, no, in real life, you didn't say good morning the right way to the right person.
Hey, Tripp, your friend Nate knows you very well because there's not even a rock throwing game scene in Smokepit.
Well, there isn't a rock throwing game in Smokepit Fairy Tales, but Doc is on a rock in a rock.
That's true.
So there's that there in the wordplay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our favorite worst reviews.
Oh, I had a good one. I had a 1 star because my book had too many words. Yeah.
Oh, but sorry, Tom, I have to ask, what was the word count on the book?
About 95,000, and it's a paranormal romance, so that's right in the ballpark.
That's standard, yeah. And you got 1 star because of too many words. Was it just that? Too many words.
Too many words.
Yep. How about you, Michele?
She posted probably about a 2-page report on it, and then put it on her blog, and then did something else. I mean, she fucking hated it. No, I'm like, hey, listen, if you read the second book of a 3-book series, that's on you, chick. I mean, that's not on me.
Yeah.
It's hard not to like respond back and go, hey,
listen, bitch.
Hey, special.
Hey, special. I love it.
Yeah. What about you, Damien?
I hope I'm not jinxing myself or opening myself up to something on the internet now, but I haven't gotten a bad review yet.
Guess what?
I believe it. I haven't got a bad review. Like I've gotten kind of like feedback off people, and like say my editor hauled me up on a few things, but like that wasn't public or anything. So yeah. I hope that lasts for a while longer. Like
I haven't had any like public negative ones, but I know Michele knows her. I don't know about Tam and Damien, but you know Cindy Mann. She wrote Sydney Mann. She wrote The Darkwood, which, by the way, before I go any further, that was a fucking kick in the teeth fucking novel. Like, if you're into fucking fantasy at the fuck all, like, read Cindy Mann's The Darkwood. Even if you're not into fucking like sci-fi, like, the story was good, but if that story sucked, I still would have read it anyway because like she's a fucking poet, like just writing. But she bought Smokepit Fairy Tales, and she got about a chapter into it, and she was like, "Hey, so I can't read the rest of this." I'm like,
"Get out of here, really?
No way."
Well, no, she's like, "I'm a Sunday school teacher," and I was like, "Oh, got it."
Got it. Personal.
And Tam, for context,
she probably wouldn't like any of our books then.
Yeah,
you can't read my books. Well, sorry.
The first chapter of my first book, it wraps up with the 2 main characters and their girlfriends, who are strippers, are at this taco shop, and they're talking about. I don't remember if it was Hank or Doc, but one of them was like regaling the story about how they were like 17 or 16 and they were hooking up with this chick who was a little bit older than them, and anal beads were a thing, and then instead of like popping out one by one, they pulled them out like they were trying to start a lawnmower, and things got plastered, and then the one chick was like, I'm eating a burrito.
He doesn't need to read this.
This is like chapter 1.
You don't need to read that.
Do you know what the funny thing is? I distinctly remember reading that chapter. Like, that was like March last year. I loved it.
What was that?
I was just wondering if you're making fun of erotica. That's all.
No. So when I was 16 or 17, I was hooking up with a chick that was 18 or 19, and she decided she wanted to use anal beads, and I was like, "No, not me." Right? She said, "No, not me." I was like, "All right, cool." So, being the sexually inexperienced person that I was, I thought you just yanked them all out. Turns out there's stuff in the intestines that come out with that if you pull it out too fast.
Oh God! Hold on. I think we all need a drink on that because God.
Agreed.
Oh, Tam, you need a drink on that one.
Oh, yep. Right
There you go. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So
Hey, there's 9 books. 9 books
yeah.
in the series.
I'm so now I got to do it. Yeah.
Do
I
yeah.
gotta put down what I'm reading right now and just go pick it up because
Just do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor.
Right
Tom. It's
now
really-
until Wednesday, the ebook's free on Amazon. So if you're a Kindle reader, it's
no.
For
Okay,
people at home
No, we
listening.
gotta have paperbacks. I'm a big yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Paperback, digital, or Audible. So, everybody's saying, "Oh, you got to do Audible. You got to do all this," and I did it. But I have a hard time listening to a book. I have to read it.
big time.
So,
I fall asleep. Honestly, even when it's a good story, I kind of zone out. I gotta read it.
I'm like, I have to read it.
Me too.
It depends on the person doing it for me because I read The Phantom of the Opera a long time ago and I fucking hated it. However, I was on a road trip once and was looking for a book to listen to, and I found Phantom of the Opera, but it was narrated by Christopher Lee. And I fucking loved just listening to Christopher Lee talking about The Phantom of the Opera. And I was just like, oh, God, this is awesome the entire time. It's got a lot to do with who's reading it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Tripp, I think you should do your own books. I think people would listen to them.
Yeah, I just got to find the time.
Yeah.
You were talking about that Trip or something, weren't you? Did you post about that a
One
while
of
back
the
or
things
something?
I wanted to do with that, though, is like, I would just want to do Hank and then get other people to do the other voices.
I just read something about that, about how if you're going to do Audible, have 2 narrators because you'll do a lot better. You'll sell more. And you've got volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll do all the
one of the
versions.
things-
I have a speech problem, but other than that, I'm really good. So if you have a speech problem, I'm really good.
Well, I mean, Gladewine was from Texas, so you could do her. And then Damien, I guess you could do the male aliens. So Tam, the aliens in my book, they came over on a generation ship, and before they landed on Earth, they learned to speak English from getting TV reception and radio and stuff. However, they were only watching the BBC, so they all spoke with a thick Scottish accent.
We can
Well,
find
I've got the Scots going on in the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th books of mine, but I am a terrible dialectician. I really am. My family makes so much fun of me, but Awesome Son could do it.
Yeah. No, like I can't even say the word. Hold on. Enunciate. I have a hard time saying the word enunciate. Enunciate a lot. So I mean,
Hey, I'm pretty impressed with you being able to say it after all that fireball. Well done.
Yeah, they're both.
You did good.
well,
Look, fireball. What do you spin? Does that mean a spin?
sure.
Well,
But while you're
I said that,
spinning,
didn't I?
Michelle, Tam, I'm half Native American and then the other half is Scots Irish. So I'm either the world's best or the
Oh
world's
my gosh,
worst
you're
speaker.
perfect. You're perfect. That's what Cruiser Man is.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Michelle, who did that land on?
huh?
Who did that land on?
It landed on Tripp.
Oh,
there
God
you
damn
Of
it.
course it did.
God damn it, Michelle.
Hey, I'm drinking with you. That's the kind of friend I am.
After me.
Tam, come on, girl.
All right. I'm working on it. I got it. I thought that said Trip, not random.
Helping him out.
You know, when I stand up, I'm going to fall down. Just telling you.
No, that's the worst. That's the fucking worst. So, I was in port somewhere. I don't remember where the fuck it was, but somewhere in Asia. And I end up at this fucking jazz club. And I was like 22 or 23 at the time, and I'd never had a Long Island iced tea before. So I thought it was like tea, Coke, a little bit of whiskey, maybe. Fuck it.
Rookie.
We're in Asia, we can smoke
Rookie.
inside. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching this fucking jazz band kick ass, and I'm like, I've never had a Long Island iced tea. Give me one of those. So I'm drinking. I'm like, oh, this ain't shit. There ain't nothing in it. And I drink like 8 of these over the course of like maybe 2 hours. And then, like at the end of the night, when they're closing up, we have to get back to ship. I'm like, well, those weren't shit. I stand up, and then as soon as I stand up, it's like Tripp has performed a critical error and must shut down. Like, that like budunk thing.
Deadly. Yeah, they're lethal drinks.
No.
Lethal.
So one of my critique partners drinks those Long Island iced teas, and we have dinner every other week and share some chapters of whatever we're working on. And I have a favorite bar, and she has a favorite bar that's a different favorite bar because my favorite bar doesn't make Long Island iced teas strong enough for her.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So we always have to go to her bar because that's where the drinks are better.
I mean,
that's fair though.
What's in Long Island iced tea but like 8 different liquors? I mean,
yeah. There's nothing in it.
How do you make it stronger?
Well,
and my issue, or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, my issue is that the bar she likes can't make an old fashioned to save their ass, and that's what I want to drink. And so, yeah, I generally just
Yeah.
I drink a beer.
My favorite bar around here, it's Pennsylvania, where it's like this place you can smoke inside if it's like privately owned. So I like to go there because
really, yeah.
But I don't think that these people like got the memo on inflation, because you can get a double Jack and Coke for $1.25.
Holy crap!
Jesus.
Yeah, like I took one of my buddies there, and he, like went to the ATM, pulled out $100, figuring we're gonna stay out drinking all night. And we did stay out drinking all night, but he ended up spending $23. And then it was like, we get back to the house and we're gonna go to bed. I don't have to puke, but if I lie down, I'm gonna. So let's just like purge now type of thing. But yeah, no, like fucking like $1.25 fucking.
Did you puke?
That's pretty sweet.
Not intentionally. Well, I'm sorry. It was intentionally. We got
intentionally.
Like like when you're drunk and you're like, I'm gonna have to puke when I lie down, and then if you don't think that, you lie down and you feel like you're in a fucking like Spanish galleon during a hurricane, and like everything doing this, and you get a little bit and it's like, before I go upstairs, let me go outside real quick. Let me play the console hockey and then purge the demons, and then that way you go inside, you drink a little bit of water, you pop an aspirin or drink another beer, whatever floats your fucking boat.
Yeah. Hydration.
Yeah, hydration.
It's all about.
Key to survival, man.
Yeah, which I totally spaced out because normally I'm smart about that, but I don't have water right by me right now. So there you go.
Yeah, actually, I got a funny story for you, Tam. So, same bar we were talking about, right? And my cigarette's about it. Give me a second. Anyway, we're at this fucking bar, and I got my buddy there, and I'm not from here, but my wife is. So we go to this bar and we're drinking, we're smoking, we're having a good time. And this dude shows up that went to high school with my wife. And he starts talking to my wife, and I'm like, all right, cool. She's found a fucking friend. And, I'm talking to my buddy. And then I look over and it looks like this dude's hitting on my wife. And my wife's not having it, but it's like, this dude's hitting on my wife. I'm like, yeah, I don't like this, but it's not like she's going to go home with him. So I don't have anything to worry about. Just, unless she needs like a fucking like, hey,
sure.
Or whatever. Anyway, fucking he fucks off, and a little bit later he comes back and he's, hey, let's do shots. And then like all of us were like, no, we're not doing shots. And then like my wife's the most adamant about it because like she was like entertaining him for the sake of being polite, as you do sometimes. And he's like, hey, don't be a bitch. And I was like, all right, cool, let's go do shots, right? So
game on.
Yeah.
And he is like, well, fucking, what do you want? And I was like, hey, Barky, give me 4 shots of Everclear. And he's like, whoa, hold on real quick.
Oh.
I can't be doing Everclear. I'm sorry, not Everclear, Jack Daniels. Like, give me 4 shots of Jack Daniels. He's like, hold on. I can't do a Jack Daniels. That does my thing. And it fucks me up, whatever. And then I was like, all right, cool. All right. Hey, Barkeep, instead of Jack Daniels, give us Everclear. And he's like, the blood leaves this dude's face. And he's like, I could see the cogs moving in his head where it's like, I already bitched out of fucking not being able to do Jack Daniels. If I can't do this Everclear or whatever. So bartender brings us 4 shots of Everclear. So he grabs 2 of them. All right, we're taking the back of the table, right? I'm like, no. 2 for me, 2 for you. And he goes, I can't do 2 shots of Everclear. I'm like, well, don't be a bitch, right? And he goes, oh, God. So he takes half a shot of Everclear and then just starts puking down the fucking side of the thing, right?
In front of everybody.
The barkeep grabs this guy and drags him out of the bar. And, this bar is like small, right? So everyone's looking at me because this dude just beside me just puked. So, like, I do my shot, do the 2 others, and then drink his. And then I'm like, yeah. So I like light a smoke, right? And like I have to puke bad. Like I have to execute.
You're dying. He's dying.
And then like I'm doing that thing where you like put a fist in your armpit and squeeze. So it puts over here instead of down here.
Does that work?
I did not know that worked.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works. It works.
Damien, you ever done that, Damien?
You got to refocus the pain. But it's
I've never heard.
Everyone looks away.
Never heard of it either, Damien.
I fucking throw my cigarette into one of the fucking things. Go to the bathroom. Like it. I did some war crimes to that fucking place, to put it lightly. And then afterwards, I walk back out. I'm sorry. I also drink from the sink for like 5 minutes. Just like rub myself down. I'm like, listen, no one's in here right now. They don't know I'm doing this. And then go back outside, light a smoke. I'm like, hey guys, that goes, bitch, right? No one saw what I did.
Hey,
no one saw what I did. We're good.
Let me just
And
guess.
then your wife had to drag your ass home, right?
That's what I was gonna say. What did your wife say? Nice, babe.
Actually, yes, and that's why I married her.
That's class.
No, I was trying to impress.
If your spouse doesn't have your back like that, you shouldn't have fucking married him.
True.
I got to tell you guys, tomorrow's my anniversary. So
Hey, happy
Congratulations.
anniversary!
thank
That's
you.
heavy.
And
We should drink. We should drink.
Yeah.
there we go. We will drink to that. So Cruiserman,
Okay.
he's a saint. He truly is, because
There you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like, I don't know. We're maybe a month into dating, and we kind of already pretty much decided that we were each other's it. But that hadn't been officially established yet. Okay.
I gotta stop you real quick, Tam, because you were talking about Cruiserman, your son, and then you said you're
No. Cruiserman's my
Cruiserman's
husband.
a husband.
Super Son's my son, and Austin's
Oh, okay.
my
I was
son.
like, I thought you said Wyoming, not
All
West
right,
Virginia.
No, don't go there. So Cruiserman, Cruiserman and my best friend and I are going out.
Okay.
And my best friend that I was my college roommate, and we broke all the freaking rules that we could break in college. And then that didn't change when we were supposedly adults. And so we went out to the bar, and I maybe danced on the tabletops a lot, and maybe had a few too many. And so he's taken us home. So he's taken my best friend and me back to my place. And I said, you got to stop the truck. And he goes, we're a block and a half from your house. I said, no, dude, you got to stop the truck. And so he does. And I go back behind the truck, and I'm like, don't let him see. I'm trying to impress him. Don't let him see. I'm telling my best friend, don't let him see. And I'm just puking my guts out. It's just so bad. And he comes around the side and he goes, oh my gosh, you're such a lady. I didn't even hear you puking back here.
That's a keeper. That's a keeper right there.
Yeah.
She married him the next week. The next week she married him.
And then, about the next year I married him. But here's the other thing. So on our wedding night, somebody was supposed to be decent, supposed to be. It was our party. We paid for it. We paid for the whole thing. So we stayed till the very bitter end. I mean, like the band is packing up and we're still partying. Because I might have started the night with 2 bottles of wine. So the poor guy didn't get it because he had to pour me into bed. that was how we started things out. So bless him for hanging in there with me for all these years. So there you go.
Okay, let's talk about wedding nights. My husband, I think he was watching ESPN by the time I was passed out. So Damien, what about you?
I probably have a million stories. I can't think of a single thing.
He's like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
Okay, well, not to speak on Damien's behalf, but I can imagine he goes, so me and Molly.
Yeah. Gonna have Molly Malone. There was this one time when I was so drunk.
No, you see, Damien's probably got this dirty secret. Like, his wife is probably a fucking member of the English Parliament, and he's just trying to hide it.
People are watching this.
My son's got top security clearance. Tripp, do you remember your wedding night?
Yeah, no. So like we had two kind of like we did the paper marriage thing, and that was like just us. And then a couple months later, after we bought the house, we had a big party at the house, and I had a lot of like my friends here, like my good friends, and then we had like a lot of my wife's friends, and that was after like all the extended family and shit left, and we're all fucking hanging out in the garage because I got a big two-car garage fucking thing that that was like the designated party area before we decided it was just fuck it, smoke in the basement. But we're out there, and my buddy Stockton, who is
that based on the character?
Yeah, that's a dude in real life.
Hey,
he meets Chuck for the first time, who is also a character based in my books. However, in the books, they've always been his best friends. In real life, they didn't meet till my fucking wedding. But Stockton is like, I read the book this guy's about. I don't like this, so I'm gonna give him a chance. And so Stockton starts doing like a lot of like lap dancey, like stripper shit to fucking Chuck, and Chuck's like, I don't know how to deal with this, and like Stockton's like, drink this, it'll be okay. So Chuck starts fucking chugging this fucking Sailor Jerry until he's like, yeah, dude, I'm cool. And then like Stockton's giving him this fucking like really grindy fucking like lap dance, and it's like, if like one of you was a chick, this would be hot. Instead, this is just fucking great. And then it got real weird until everybody like passed out, and then like me and my wife, my buddy Dan, are just like there, and we're like, all right, this is cool. All right, cool. Everyone is either has puked and is in their sleeping place, or is outside face down, like on the ledge. So if they do puke, they're not going to drown in it, because you have to be careful, because that's how Hendrix died.
Yeah, true.
And then like Dan was like, all right, well, I'm going to go find somewhere to crash. And then me and the wife fucking got upstairs and went, hey, so we're married, right? She's like, yeah, we're married.
Nice.
Hold on. Let me open the window real quick. Are you going to puke? No, I just need some fresh air.
And this is where the puking scene kind of comes in and between Hank and
yeah, but what I'm talking about happened in 2019. I wrote that in 2014. So
it was like a premonition.
You were doing what all good sci-fi writers do. You were planning
living in the future.
Exactly. Hey, Spawn's a real person.
Yes, and you'd hate him because he's from Oklahoma.
Well, true, but not to give any spoilers.
What's funny is like he rereads those books like maybe once. I'm gonna say on average 2 times every 3 years, and I get a lengthy message that says "fuck you."
Who's this? The Fonz, is it?
No, Stockton.
Oh, Stockton, yeah. Mad character, mad.
Okay, what's everybody reading right now?
Right now, I'm doing an arc read of Steve D. Howarth's book. It's the Typhon Odyssey. It only came out there about I think about 4 or 5 days ago. So I'm actually a little behind in terms of review, but he's a British author. It's like a naval kind of fantasy thing. It's kind of like Horatio Hornblower, just mixed in this completely different world where the ancient Greeks like fought this war with the Atlanteans, and it ended up that like all these like mad kind of like people who were kind of living in Atlantis, they were kind of like the mix of different kind of societies that were on Earth at the time. So you've ancient Greeks, you've got like Africans, you've got like kind of medieval Celts. They got thrown into this alternative world where the sea is like acidic. And there's all these different land masses and stuff, and they develop their own kind of like culture and stuff. Like, so it's kind of like modeled on, it's kind of like the British Navy or whatever. But they're called the Kingdom of the West Spires, and they're kind of out patrolling for like pirates. And then they got hit by these like this version of the Aztecs that have like magic and stuff, and just butcher everyone on the ship. So it's really like the first third of the book is like this vicious like fight scene of these like British style like sailors taking on these Aztec lads all on this one ship, and there's explosions and there's like magic dudes like firing down shit like and all like and then they end up on some landmass where it's like elves and stuff like that, and they have to go on a quest. It's crazy. It's insane. It's so good. I'm enjoying every second.
So it's Saving Private Ryan, but over in some. Okay.
Yeah, it's a complete. It's like a naval fantasy. I kind of describe it now. Real dark overtones and like so much like dark humor and kind of like crazy just battle scenes. It's mad. Yeah, but like if that's your thing, definitely check it out. I'll have a review up, I'd say, in the next week. But I just remember reading it, and like this one like battle scene, like I said, goes on for like the first third of the book, and you're like, oh my god, this is intense. You know, all on this ship, and you can imagine like. A ship, it's probably the fraction of the size of what a modern day ship is, so it's all fairly compressed. Waves of these Aztec lads coming at them, like, and they're just like slaughtering each other with swords and stuff. Like it's crazy good.
Yeah, well, see, one of the things that I think is funny about that, Damien, is like, you're talking about, it's like a, British Navy fucking thing. And if you look throughout history, the British are very proud of their Navy because, historically, they have the second greatest Navy that ever floated the fucking high seas.
Who's the first, Tripp?
America!
Yeah.
You know who has a big Navy now? In my book, China.
Dude, no, listen, China is fucking hilarious because, like, technically they have a really big Navy right now. However, most of their fleet is ships that they bought from the Soviets that the Russians fucking have had since the 70s that they couldn't get to fucking float, and the Chinese jerry-rigged them together to, like, float. And it's like, yeah, dude, that's gonna turn out really well for you as soon as somebody has to challenge that. It'd be a shame if somebody had a fighter jet that could drop a torpedo on that.
Okay, Tripp, are you reading anything?
No, not right now, friggin'. So I had a very literature heavy semester. So like I have this goal I try to make for myself every year. I try to read one book a month, like on average, like try to have 12 books read by the end of the year. Right now, I'm at 48.
Oh, awesome.
However, most of them were for school, but it was like, I had one of those teachers that thought light reading was reading half of a fucking novel on a fucking Tuesday and then writing a fucking 2-page fucking reaction to it. So, yeah.
I had one of those professors too that did 2,000 pages in one quarter, and I was like, "Dude, really? I have a life."
Yeah, I really like to mess with this guy a little bit, and like he had a very good sense of humor about it because his thing was like, "Hey, listen, read half this book, and then give me like a 2-paragraph response," and then I would give him like 6 pages at night just because I'd like break it down and just be an asshole about it, like. You're gonna make me be an asshole about reading. Well, I'm gonna make you I'm gonna be an asshole about you having to read this shit because you have to read what I fucking write down. So,
yeah, they don't care.
So what did they make you read? Like what in your lit class? Just because I'm a recovering English teacher. I mean, I'm curious.
Recovering.
Don't read my books. Bad grammar.
There was a handful of like kids books I never heard of before. Most of them were like picture fucking books. There was also we had to read all of Sophocles, so like all the fucking Theban plays, and then we also had to read the Epic of Gilgamesh and most of the Sumerian literature stuff, which by the way, I'd read that before because Smokepit Fairy Tales, the first one, is loosely based off of the Epic of Gilgamesh, so I had a lot of.
Oh, now I'm totally in because I love the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, but
I can't even pronounce any of that. So
yeah, but then we also
don't even try.
Well, I'm just going to smile and nod.
Yeah, we also read what was it? Their Eyes Were Watching God, and shit, I have a whole fucking thing somewhere. I don't. If I had my,
that's like everybody's new favorite. Their eyes were watching God. It
was terrible.
Favorite. I don't get that, but whatever.
No, it was terrible. It's like, oh, so let's look at this woman get her agency. It's like, no, she didn't get her agency. She got treated like an asshole and had no agency and didn't have the balls to stand up until she went to court and then said a few things on the fucking post. Now, granted, it was neat that her husband got rabies and turned into a zombie, and she like totally quote unquote did not murder him, but it's like
My dog came in.
If the story is going to be about you getting your agency, maybe the story should be about you actually fighting to get your agency instead of it being given to you at the end.
Thank you. Yes. 100%.
Yeah. So like there was all those, and then we also had to do stuff like we would like read what the Seven Against Thebes, and then we'd watch the Seven Samurai in the Magnificent Seven, and then the remake of the Magnificent Seven. Have to write a paper that compared and contrasted what was the same theme wise and what differentiated between each of the fucking stories, as it is a continuing element. So that kind of stuff.
It just cracks me up because back in the day when I was in college, my professor, honestly, my drama professor was Bill Pullman. Like, while you were sleeping,
wait.
Independence Day, that Bill Pullman, yeah.
Wait,
he was my professor.
He was your professor. What was it,
cool.
before or after he stopped the alien invasion?
Before.
Holy shit! All right.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a professor at Montana State, and I watched him actually do Shakespeare in the Park in my little teeny town of 800 people.
Wow!
And I saw him live.
Yeah.
And he stayed with my best friend's family because there's no hotel in my little town, so he stayed with my best friend's family, and I watched him on Letterman, and he said, "Yeah, I think I'm a better actor than I was a professor." And oh fuck yes. But that's kind of how this feels, Tripp. That's kind of how this feels.
I had a professor that looked like Tom Petty. I tried to sleep with him, but I didn't get to do it.
Wait, hold on.
It didn't work out.
Pullman and didn't? Why not? like, why not? I mean, like,
he missed out, Michelle. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, like not to get weird, but like, I mean, like, why not?
Okay, Tam, what are you reading right now?
I'm reading a little story actually called The British Knight, and it's romance. It's a contemporary romance with a barrister. And the reason that it drew my attention is because the author is funny, and I'm trying to improve my humor in my books. And so, yeah, I picked this one up, and I'm trying to do something a little different. And I'm also reading I'm always reading more than one book. So I'm also reading a book called The Art of Showing Rather Than Telling. And
dude, that's a
I had that.
Yeah. And so I'm reading that one. I'm about halfway through that one.
Just trying to read like a lot of like indie authorship because I want to help people out on Instagram. It's like, hey, you got a cool account, let me read your book. There is so much shit where it's like, here's a book this thick, and I'm going to tell you everything and show you nothing. It's like,
do it.
Yeah. Well, the book I'm reading is by an indie author. Her name is Louise Bay, and she's an indie author. And I'm trying really, I'm focusing a lot on indie authors just because, honestly, it's just like you three. I know that there are really excellent writers out there who some agent somewhere it didn't fit.
Oh, so I got the rejection letter within 5 minutes of sending it. I'm like, you haven't even read my fucking email. Damn.
Yeah. Here's the thing that's really hilarious. So I pitched this book that's coming out next Thursday, Play For Me. I pitched this.
What's that? Plug? That's a drink.
Yeah, I'll show it. Here it is.
That's a drink.
Here's the story. I pitched this to an agent a couple of years ago, and she said, yeah, no one's reading rock star romances. And my experience online has been phenomenal. People are dying for rock star romances. So I'm like,
love it.
What the fuck do you know?
Hey, real quick, Tam, real quick. Are you sure you weren't a roadie for Motorhead? Because the more you talk, the more I think that you are lying about all this, and you are actually hanging out with Lemmy.
You know what? Honestly, Lemmy and I would have been buddies. I'm serious.
Definitely.
We would have been total buddies.
It sounds like a good time.
I can see that.
I would have reached out and grabbed Brent Smith's, tugged on his vest. I was that close at the last Shine Down concert, but my husband held me back.
Husbands.
Well, I meant, like,
Fair enough.
oh, never mind. Sorry.
Fair enough.
I took it out of context. Sorry.
Oh no, that was in context. AT&T, reach out and touch someone.
100%. 100%.
Okay, I'm reading it.
Actually, seriously, I was like within an arm's length of when I was at the Break Benjamin Cosmet, and Benjamin was like right there, and Hubs was like, no,
Something like that.
get your hands back. He came out in the audience. It was not my fault.
Wait, he came out into the audience, or he came?
Oh yeah, he did. He totally did. He had his mic, and he was out in the audience. He was doing his thing. They had the spots on him, and I was within 10 feet.
So you were within shooting distance. Got it.
So what was the name of that again? Because I'm gonna write that down.
Tell me again.
What's the name of that again? That's my dog's lapping up water, by the way. I mean, you think he's dying here. Okay, what was the name of the book you're reading? So I can put that down.
It's called The Night.
The Night.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making
By
notes for myself.
Louise Bay.
I'm making notes for myself. The Night, Hot
By
Tamales.
Louise Bay, and she's an indie author.
Cool. Yeah, definitely got to support the indie authors. And I think like what you said there, Tom, in terms of kind of agents and stuff like that, like if you look at the rejections that you kind of tend to get, it always ends up being like it's subjective. They always kind of tell you that writing is a subjective kind of business. And I think it cuts both ways as well. Like, so when it comes to like agents, like it's a subjective business for them. So just because they you get signed by an agent doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to like be the #1 bestseller. And there's so many kind of like stories out there of people who kind of like sign with agents, and like the book ends up no different than an indie author book. So I don't think you're right. I think you need to kind of mix it up a little bit, like support indie authors, kind of like obviously read like any books out there that tickle your fancy. But just because you have an agent doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to be the next best thing, And we've seen plenty of indie authors make it huge as well. Like, so, well, now when I say plenty, I mean it's probably less than 0.1% or whatever, but it's no different than kind of trad. It's pretty much the same game, I think.
Right.
No, I think it's very important.
The guy the Martian that was originally fucking self-published.
That's what I was
Andy
going to
Weir,
say.
yeah.
Tripp, yeah.
That's the go-to. That's the go-to, isn't it?
The Shade series was originally self-published.
Self-published, yeah.
Yeah. So like you can't make it. You just gotta like make your own fucking fan base for it.
I think it's like this perfect kind of like combination of like having kind of like a story that people are intrigued in, having like the marketing skills to kind of get it out there in front of people who are intrigued by it, and having like the kind of inner, I suppose, like wherewithal to actually get stuck in and kind of do the work that needs to kind of get as much attention on as possible. If you can tick all the boxes where you have a story that people are intrigued in, it's well written, you have the marketing skills, I think it can pay off for anybody. It's unlocking that magic combination of things. And especially it's tricky for writers when you think about it. Like you can spend months crafting a book that you might think might be the perfect fit for the market, but by the time it's set to be released, the market's changed. So it's the same thing when it comes to querying agents. Like you can like come up with a book that like might be at the time in a genre that's the #1 best-selling, but like by the time you have it written and by the time you actually kind of reach out there, the market's changed again. So it's very tricky. It is, as they say, it's subjective, but it cuts both ways.
Yeah,
No,
like
I
one
think
of
you're
the
completely
that,
right.
one of the few literary agents that got to write me back wanted me to take my aliens and make them vampires.
I remember saying that, yeah.
And it's like that doesn't work
for
a lot of reasons, but.
No. And did they say why? Like, did they give you a reason why they wanted to change?
2014, so Twilight was still fucking like a big thing. Which, by the way, if Twilight is mentioned, we all have to drink.
Oh, okay, good.
The Twilight.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing that I had. I actually had a really great experience with an agent who said, She was one of the few people who was honest. And one of the problems is that we've got a lot of people out there who have really thin skins. And so they don't want anybody to tell them that their writing isn't good or it's not ready.
Yeah.
And having been a recovering English teacher, I actually had a librarian who sat down one day and figured out, based on what my students were photocopying in the library, she figured out that I had read over 1 million pages of student writing. And and I have commendations from colleges and universities in our region about what a good job I did as a writing teacher.
Cool.
And I've got students who graduated from Harvard, Pepperdine, William and Mary, Columbia, whose teacher said, "Oh, holy hell, who taught you how to write?" So I feel pretty good about that. But at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily translate unless you've got, I've got a good editor. I'm lucky. But when you have an agent's going to say, yeah, you're doing things right, or this doesn't work for me, or whatever. And some of that has to do with market. And I think what you're saying, Damien, is absolutely right. Wherever the market is going on right now, that's where the agent's headed. So I had an agent who just flat told me, nobody's reading rock and roll and romance. And my social media says, we can't wait for your rock and roll romance.
Yeah.
So
give it to them.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but here's the thing. And I think, first of all, I'm not a grammatical person. And I learned Spanish. I can't speak in English or Spanish now. I mean, I'm messed up, right?
Oh, I
don't know what to do, where to put where to put this. I just do the ... because I'm like, fuck, I don't know, right? But I think it's about if you can convey the message, right?
Yeah.
And people get the message. But at the other, the spectrum of it is you just got to keep doing you. I mean, I've had people say, hey, if you made this character a different color, we might have more marketability. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to say. And I'm like,
I had a really great experience with a romance writer who I really admire, and she's written everything. She's written historical. She's written vampire. She's written the FBI, romantic suspense. She's had people out in the middle of the Keys digging for buried treasure on a boat. She's done everything. And I had a really good experience of having a workshop with her. And she said, you know what? Write the book you want to read.
Exactly.
There it
that's
is.
where it should come from. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, listen, and all these books that all of y'all, I like to read.
But I think it comes true as well.
Michele, I love to read your books because even though I don't get because I'm not a really great movie watcher, and Cruiserman is. So whenever I get stuck and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, what about this reference? And I'll say something to him and he'll go, oh, it's this and this and this, because he watches movies all the time.
Yeah.
But honestly, I have such a good time reading your books, and I know I'm gonna have a great time reading Damien's. I know I'm gonna have a great time reading Tripp's, and the reason is because I have an imagination.
Yeah.
I mean, hello. Yeah. And this is the book you wanted to read. So if that's the book you wanted to read and you wrote that book, I'm going to want to read it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love those books.
Yeah. And then to caveat that, when I'm reading Michele's books, it's like, all right, Maddie, what are you getting into this time?
Exactly.
That's what you want, isn't it? You want that kind of like that X factor where you're just like, I suppose, buying into the author's dream as well. Like, I mean, it's not so much about like, I mean, obviously, like the quality of the writing does kind of matter, but I think if a writer really believes in what they're doing, it does leak out of the pages. Like, if they have that enthusiasm for the character or the backdrop or the story, you can tell straight away as a reader. First and foremost, if the author believes in what they're doing, rather than doing it for a commercial thing or, just for some monetary incentive, like if they really, really have passion behind the story, it leaks out of the pages, Like, yeah, that's one of the things, as I said, like when it came to the Smokepit fairy tales, like when I picked up book one, I can distinctly remember like it was around when lockdown was starting over here. And I was sitting like probably just a couple of meters away from where I'm sitting right now. Just randomly, kids were at the back. I had a couple of minutes to myself, opened up a couple of pages, and within like the first couple of kind of lines, I'm kind of like, I really sense the authenticity behind the story. You can feel the passion, the fact that it's just grounded in something deeper, like kind of thing. It's just a really interesting story, But that comes across within 3 pages. I was breaking my shit laughing. Like, I thought it was hilarious. But that's what I think what most 99% of readers are looking for, in the grand scheme of things. You know, something that entertains them. You know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
And the other thing
That's
is
my
that
dog's
you need
eating, by the way.
So what?
That's my dog's eating food.
Well, no, because I was gonna say, like, I've read a
Okay.
lot of books that, like, the author sucked as a writer, but
Yeah.
I fucking loved because I identified with it. What is it? Jarhead by Anthony Swafford. That dude cannot write for fucking shit. However, I fucking loved that book because he was writing about shit that, like, it was like you did.
I mean,
this.
he lived through it, and then that links in with what your kind of experiences are. So it's that authenticity thing, like, you know, it's like you're writing about what you know and where you come from.
What
Like,
resonates with you?
yeah, exactly.
exactly.
I mean, I think I'll use Big Red as the example there. Like I was a reservist soldier kind of thing, and I think when I originally started writing that book, it was like typical kind of military science fiction, US kind of Marines, gung ho, muscle bound lads smoking cigars, all sorts of machines and or machine guns and shit like that, like just blowing shit up. I think after a couple of lines, like, no, that's not the story. Like, I'm Irish, I want to write an Irish military science fiction. I want it to be from an Irish perspective. I wanted to like include elements that like Irish people would find interesting. I mean, the concept of Irish people or Irish soldiers and British soldiers fighting on the same side is just incomprehensible to my society, my culture right now. We're all mates now, like, but I can't imagine any type of joint kind of mission where you have Irish and British soldiers on the same side. You know, it's just,
hearing you say that, Damien, having been to Belfast and seeing absolutely seeing the checkpoints and all the razor wire that's still there. I'm like, holy shit, aren't we done? But, you know, and having stood on the corner of right on the side on the street, right in front of Harris, about 3 days before the IRA blew up a car right on that same corner where I'd been standing, 1990 whatever. You know, hearing you say that is like, here's a positive that we can create in our writing, and we can move people forward toward this place of positivity and camaraderie and shared goals. And I just think that's really cool. I mean, like, that's the reason why I know that my nephews are going to love Big Red when I hand it to them. And it's the reason why I know I'm going to love it when I read it.
Okay. So I just got to stop y'all real quick and just throw a Ricky Bobby quote in here. You know, from
Ricky Bobby, bring it on.
If you don't read Big Red, fuck you.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. There it is.
All right,
well, Magic Man and Diablo.
Yeah, on that, we're at about our time limit, so let's do.
Okay, wait a minute. My husband was able to put. I need a spin.
I'm smashed, Michelle.
I think we need to all just drink.
Damn it, Michelle! All right, fine.
To Michelle's husband.
Let's drink to this, and we'll do our roundabout. All right, so
family.
Clockwise.
First, I have a lot of this bottle of Jameson. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. So, before we wrap this up, let's do one thing. We'll go around. All right. So, Tam, starting with you.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about your work and where we can find you.
All right. So, my first series is the Talisman series. There are 5 books so far. You can find me at www.tamderudderjackson.com, and you can find me on any platform that you like to read on. And my new book that's coming out on Thursday, the 27th, is a romance, completely different. Called Play For Me.
Drink.
Hope y'all love it.
All right. We're in. Michelle, tell us about fucking Maddie Baker, what's coming up next, and where we can find you.
Okay, so you can find Maddie Baker pretty much everywhere because Amazon kicked me off their Kindle Direct thing. So I'm on.
You're on.
Oh, that's a drink.
Is it?
You gotta drink another one. You said if you did anything. So
it was a joke, Michelle, but fine.
I'm a little person. So you can find it pretty much everywhere you buy books. Or my website.
Hey, I already had them. I had them in the original cover. So just saying.
And listen, yeah, you can have the
Well, I have them on
covers
print
or original covers, or or new covers. And
the new covers are slick, by the way. I did want to say that.
Don't you like that? So, by the way, I got to do a little plug for Platform House Publishing. They're based out of England, Europe, or someplace. I don't know where they're from. Great people. In fact, I'm reading her book now, Becky Wright. Great book. It's a gothic horror, and I'm doing the Audible and the print version, so I can do it at the same time. Little sexy horror thing. It's like a
sexy horror, you say?
Well, it's kind of like Sherlock Holmes with sex.
So
probably as cultural thing. When I heard that, it's like sexy horror. Like,
well, the first one says the narrator's got that that voice, and you're like. So then you read it, you're like,
no, Michelle, I don't know what the narrator does in his voice. What do you know that his narrator does with his voice?
Think about Sherlock Holmes with what's his name? It's good. And by the way, they do great work. Tripp also does great work too, and he gets commissioned for it. So don't forget to do that. So that's it.
All right, Damien, fucking, I know you got Big Red coming out soon, or I'm sorry, Blood Red coming out.
Blood Red.
Yeah. So Damien, what's coming up for your stuff?
Yeah. So check it out. This is my debut. This is Big Red. It's an Irish military science fiction novel. Like I was saying, I kind of wanted to do like a military science fiction novel, but like I suppose a bit more Irish centric. So it deals with like an Irish soldier forcibly enlisted into a British led kind of European force on Mars. They engage in all sorts of activities. Starts off kind of calm, and they end up in a genocidal war. Next novel in the series is Blood Red Sand, and this deals with, it's kind of like a prequel. It's like the historical legacy of Big Red. It's set about 20 years before the early events, and it deals with the Allied soldiers, so the likes of like British, French, American, Russian soldiers in 1954 invading Mars and beating the shit out of the Nazis left, right, and center. So yeah, that's coming out on the 6th of July.
So listen, is that not a sequel? It's a different completely book.
It's a bit of a weird one. Like, to be honest, like my writer friend Pam Livingston, she actually coined the phrase pre-sequel, because there's time travel elements within Big Red. Depending on how you look at it, you can see it as a prequel, or you could see it as an indirect sequel. It can be read as a standalone, but there's a lot of ambiguity in there. Which I love to do. I love kind of like blurring the lines between stuff. So even in the likes of Blood Red Sand, like the good guys aren't necessarily the good guys. Bad guys aren't necessarily the bad guys. It kind of raise it a little bit,
So like when you say they're not necessarily the bad guys, it's like, yeah, they're still not.
Oh no, that they were shitbags. All of them are shitbags and deserve to die horrible deaths.
Also, I suppose on that though, like one of my last things was the Irish undersell a tragedy, such as calling the Holocaust an emergency. And it's like, yeah, the Holocaust is an emergency.
Yeah, so yeah, just for context for everyone out there, in Ireland we refer to World War II as the emergency.
Already did it. Pony up.
Yeah.
My husband's thinking, oh, great.
The Irish are like way too polite about things. But anyway,
I think it's social trauma.
You guys, any last words?
Tripp.
Yeah,
Tripp, where's your stuff?
Oh,
Tripp.
Well, if you're listening to this or watching this, click the link in the bio. It'll take it to you.
Hey, I want to share one of my favorite Tripp. Tripp's been sharing a lot of his art online, and I really love his music. And honestly, his music has had really
put down your back.
A big influence on helping write my war scenes.
Okay.
And so I really appreciate that. And I just want to point out, Tripp's got some great art out there.
He does.
And some great t-shirts as well. Like,
oh, hey, you get the
Damien. Throwing it down last minute.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that, fucking ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Trick Smokepit. And if you guys want to hang out after the show, we can bullshit after the show.
Hell yeah.
But on that, people listening at home,